Sorry, everyone, I'm late. This is Crater. Welcome to another episode of This Week in Wrestling. I believe Ron will be showing up momentarily. I apologize for the delay. Yeah, so Ron will be joining me. He just tweeted me. He's just getting something to eat first, and he'll join. So, yes, there's that. We got a lot of talks about today. My bad, guy. First off, reason why I'm late, there's multiple reasons why. Well, first, I just sneezed, so I didn't want to sneeze on live. I think I got that out of the way. So I think I'll be good for like at least 2 hours by the season. I am kind of feeling under the weather. So I do apologize for that. Let me just say something. So yeah, I do apologize for that. Another reason why get some stuff done where I was just on my computer. I had to bring up my notes and stuff before I got ready to live stream. I usually do that a couple minutes before, but I was late doing it. And I was doing a bunch of other stuff. I apologize. So yes, we're gonna get today's main topic for our usual review of 205 Live NXT, which NXT really not much to talk about. But it's the Mixed Match Challenge because a lot of news happened there, so we will definitely be going over that. But before I do, I actually just want to remind everybody on my channel in general. Today I actually released the Payback Kickoff show from my Universe mode. So if you guys didn't check that out yet, be sure to. And tomorrow is actually my very first Universe mode pay-per-view, which is the Payback pay-per-view, the Raw exclusive. I hope you guys enjoy that. It'll be released at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hope you guys look forward to that. And yeah, there's that. Let's go over all the other news that happened elsewhere before the Mixed Match Challenge. Before we talk about the Mixed Match Challenge. First off, Sheena Blazer. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing her name right. Sheena Blazer. Yeah, Sheena Blazer. I want to say that's right. They released put a video of her. She's a different kind of woman in the NXT. I can tell you that much because like she just doesn't give a crap about anything. Because she went to the Performance Center. She was trying to like basically bully the crew by showing her how well she could put in a submission hold, and she tried to. And then Dakota Kai stopped her. It was just, I mean, it's obviously a stage video, but it still just really shows of course we reckon with Sheena Blazer. So there's that. Dave Meltzer shot down the rumor at the Bullet Club, the likeliness of the Bullet Club picking Royal Rumble. He said, quote on Twitter, about the same percentage chance of Martians attacking the Earth before the Rumble and declaring their entry, and Vince not having the power to stop them. So basically, there's no chance. And also, one major news that I do want to talk about is there's a lot of speculation as to why this happened. But one of the 205 live events got canceled. It was actually the first show out of the 3-day live events that they were going to do. Now, there's multiple reasonings that are going around as to why it got canceled. But basically they said it was due to routing. We themselves came out and said it was due to routing reasons, but Dave Meltzer said it was because tickets didn't sell. Now, either side could, I mean, routing reasons, it's kind of hard to say if that's the case. I don't know. It's just, I mean, Dave Meltzer, yes, he's usually the guy who's usually spot on things, but I guess because since I'm a fan of 205, I don't want it to fail, but it's not really a good sign. Well, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing because, again, if the tickets weren't selling at all, they wouldn't have canceled the they would have canceled the other 2 live events as well. So I figured, like, hey, and the other 2 events obviously did enough selling for them to justify doing the event. So it was just probably that. That's why I lead more towards the routing because again, that's personally the way I would look at it. If they're still putting on the other two shows, but the first show didn't sell well in terms of tickets, so why didn't in the same result? But for those two didn't. So unless we find out next week that hey, these two shows all got canceled, then okay, sure. As far as I know, since these two shows, the other two ones hasn't yet been canceled, so that's why I would kind of believe that was technically probably a routing issue, which we won't know because nobody would actually tell us. WWE said it was due to routing. Well, actually, it wasn't WWE. Let me clarify that. It was the arena that said it was due to routing issues. It was due to ticket sales. I don't know. Oh, I guess it's the fanboy in me who wants to believe. Um, it wasn't due to ticket sales, but well, like I said, we're gonna find out in the next 2 weeks because if the other two events are not canceled yet, then I would believe the routing one because again, usually live events, how live events usually work, in case you guys don't know, is that regardless of the city that they're going, matches are usually the exact same in terms of like what superstars fighting who. They're usually the exact same for that week period. So it was just probably just simply it was just scheduled because the same matches from all three shows were advertised as the same. Either those shows just justify doing it, or B, maybe it was. So, like I said, we won't really know until like next 2 weeks. If the live events go as well as planned, then we will see. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. Speaking around for 1 second. Any other interesting news before I talk about the Miss Max challenge? I mean, Wrestle Kingdom happened. I'm pretty sure every other commentator went over that, so I don't really need to say much. I didn't personally watch the show myself. I did see highlights from Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. It looked good. Surprising, Chris Jericho is still with New Japan, so that's something about because it's like, wow, Jericho still there. That's kind of ridiculous. We thought it was just a one-off thing, but clearly that's not the case. I guess we will just see what happens there with Jericho because he did attack Naito, I believe. I think he's the one who fought Kazuki Okada for the title, and now he is still there. So they paid him a lot of money for him to continue to work there, or something is happening that we are unaware of. But yeah, there's that. Otherwise, see much about that. I guess we can move on to Mixed Match Challenge now. So give me 1 second after I pull it up. that was pretty much the main in terms of outside of the regular show's news. This was pretty much the main thing that was happening all week. Was the mixed match challenge. Hurry up and pull it up. They did up. All right. All right. So this special thing that's like I believe from both Raw and SmackDown will be competing in the tournament, charity of their option. We're not going to get into that part because, like, yes, we know it's scripted. So, what does this actually mean? It's kind of, it doesn't matter who wins because they obviously know what charity's going to win. So, but that's another story for another time. Basically, how it's going to work is single elimination tournament. Now, the one thing they weren't actually clear on is tournament brackets are actually going to be set up. Is it going to be just random scattered, like where a SmackDown team can fight a SmackDown team or SmackDown team can fight Raw team, vice versa? Or is it like you have to get to the end of your bracket to compete in the finals? Like all the Raw superstars are competing against each other on one side, and all SmackDown Live superstars are competing against each other on the other side. So, could be that option, but they weren't really specific on it yet. So participants either for the Monday Night Raw side, Alexa Bliss, Alicia Fox, Bailey, Braun Strowman, Apollo Crews now, because in case you guys didn't know, Enzo Amore got replaced due to him being ill. Had a deadline to start doing this, so I guess Dave Meltzer said it was because they just signed out to the very last minute, which you could have used. Why did you replace him with freaking Apollo Crews? That's another question for another time. The Finn Balor, Goldust, Nia and The Miz, all for the Raw side. You also had the final fan vote with either Samoa Joe, Jason Jordan, or Elias Sampson, whoever part of the Monday Night Raw side. For SmackDown Live side, Bobby Roode, Carmella, Charlotte, Jimmy, Naomi, Natalya, Rusev, Sami Zayn, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Also, a final fan vote with any of the three members of the New Day. And hold on. Kick things off. The first team that was actually announced was Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman. Weird pairing. We Braun Strowman and Nia Jax because Nia Jax was actually rooting for that on Twitter. But Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss, that's interesting, especially with the dynamic in general, because on Raw, they're opposite roles. Like Alexa Bliss is the heel and Braun Strowman is the face. So that should be something. SmackDown. Excuse me, guys. The first team SmackDown Live was Bobby Roode and Charlotte Flair. That makes sense. I mean, it felt like that was going to be a team anyway, because again, the whole Rhodes thing, their faces, when in reality they should be heels. That kind of like. So I expected that team. I wasn't really shocked by that because I was halfway expecting it. What I wasn't expecting was the next one, which was again Raw. Raw always has to be the crazy one for some reason. Finn Balor, Sasha Banks. We all just predicted Finn Balor and Bailey, two of them always interacting on via social media and on live events during their NXT run. So, but said Finn Balor, Sasha Banks. it's different. So why not? I guess it is. It's different. Where it goes from there. Two things I didn't expect them to actually do, but I mean, realistically, they should have, and they did go the realistic route. Rusev and his wife Lana, mixed match challenge, so husband and wife. That should be interesting. As Jimmy Uso and his wife Naomi in the mixed match challenge. So again, the thing that I wasn't actually expecting to do was to pair the wives, because they would be like, it'd be funny if we pair the wives with another husband and wife. So I was half expecting Rusev and Naomi and Jimmy Uso and Lana. That would have been hilarious in their eyes, at least. So I'm just glad they're going this route. The husband and wife makes sense, and probably the most small is Nia Jax and Apollo Crews. It's really, really something because they have nothing in common, nothing alike, and Nia Jax looks so irritated about having to team up with her. So I can imagine. I can really imagine how she's personally feeling. It's gonna be hilarious. And those are all the current teams I'm expecting that they will reveal the next. How many teams are that? Was that 3 each? 3, 1, 2. Yep, it was. Yep, it was 3 each. It was definitely 3 each. Okay. See, now I'm kicking myself because I'm not 100% sure it was 3 each. Let me double check that. Three each, wasn't it? Yep, it was 3 each currently. So we're tied 3-3, and I think there's 3 more groups they can do. So that. Wait, Goldust is in this, isn't he? Let me double check. We're just waiting basically for on the SmackDown side which member of the New Day is going to be doing it, and then on the Raw side, either Elias, Jason Jordan, or I'm all based on fan voting. If it's not rigged, I'm expecting Jason Jordan. I mean, oh, my bad. I don't know why that came out so clean. I meant to say Samoa Joe. That's what I was meant to say. Yeah. Hopefully Samoa Joe be part of it. So shows how probably he would be on. I had a long day at work. So there's that. Let's talk about Raw as I pull it up. Wait, Ron, did you just join? As Ron was in the chat this whole time. Wait, Ron, did you just join? Could anybody hear me this whole time? They have nothing in common, nothing in voting. If it's not rigged. Okay. Okay, you say Mike Pryor. I'm about to say, how long? I have no idea. How long you been in there, man? Yeah, man. Still can't hear you yet. I can somewhat hear you.
testing.
Yeah, I can hear you. You probably just had to turn up a little bit.
Well, I'm trying to figure this out right now, so give me a second.
Actually, yeah, there you go. All right, perfect.
Testing, no. Testing.
If I can hear you, I'm pretty sure they can hear you.
Testing. Nothing.
No. Wait, now I can. Now I
You
can.
can? No. All right. No. All right, good. No, because I tried to go look at the green bar on the bottom and let me know if y'all can hear me or not. So.
Well, I mean, the fact that I can hear you means I think they can hear you as well.
All right, then that's good.
All right. Wow, you came just in time. So now I guess we can talk about some of the news that I covered. First off, did you well first off, how you been, man?
I'm doing fine, doing fine. Yeah, I know I said that I didn't know if I was going to be home tonight, but things got canceled because this snow that we
The
have.
snow, yes. The snow is ridiculous.
So, and then the
It
cold,
was
the
the
coldness
cold
that we
was so
got.
bad. My job today, all our pipes froze.
Oh wow,
So it was
that had to be a bitch.
yeah,
Oh, I'm
there's
sorry.
that.
Did I curse again? I'm sorry.
No. Well, actually, yeah. Before you start with your review, I'm about to go right into the review. We can talk about two topics I wanted to get your opinion on.
Okay.
First off, 1 to 205 live events being canceled. Are you aware of this?
Yes, I saw. And personally,
What is your personal opinion on it?
personally, I don't think that they should do 205 Live as a separate event because it's no reason for them to. They're not big enough to do a 205 event by themselves. They're not like NXT from where NXT you can have
Yeah.
these type of things and stuff because NXT also has their developmental wrestlers and they wrestle first and everything to help warm the crowd up before they
Well, you
start
see the
out.
difference is if Triple H was more hands-on on 205 Live, then maybe.
Yeah,
And
but
that's the thing. I feel like what people tend to forget why the Cruiserweight Classic, like, we're not getting the same thing. This is all Vince McMahon right here. The Cruiserweight Classic was all Triple H, but 205 Live is all Vince. And it's obvious that Vince McMahon has no idea what to do with these guys.
well, my whole thing with that is this: it was doomed from the start because number one, nobody was buying tickets. Then he decided, hey, let's add Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt to a 205 event. Like, huh? Like this is supposed to be this is supposed to be 205 live,
And
and
yet you're adding, I know.
you're adding,
That ain't
something from Raw. Like that's not good. Then,
I mean,
then like I said,
no, go ahead.
my whole thing is just pretty much. I just don't think that it was just a good idea. From like I said earlier, NXT they're the developmental thing as well as their plan C, you might say, because Raw is A, SmackDown is B.
Yeah, I know.
I
They're
don't know where to
essentially
put
a
them.
third. 205 Live. Well, you see, that's the. But personally, I think that's the issue because the Cruiserweight division is Monday Night Raw.
Yes.
They are a part of the Raw roster. Even though they're part of the Cruiserweight division, if kayfabe wise, if you were to look in their contract, it would say Monday Night Raw. They're part of the Raw roster.
Yes, exactly.
So it's like.
With that said, what's the point of them having a by themselves 205 live event? Like, if anything, they should all just be a part.
Because here's the thing.
Of Raw.
because here's the thing. I think there's there's a lot of theories as to this. One theory that popped up in my head, because again, the live events in general, if you look at their live events for Monday Night Raw, the cruiserweights only have, if anything, one match on that live event show, and it's usually only the cruiserweight champion with one person. So that leaves what is doing nothing, and just hope to God that they're called on for that week on that episode of 205 Live. Otherwise, they're not doing nothing.
I mean, yeah, that's true as well, but at the same time, it's, I guess, the name value, because I feel like that they probably. And then here's another problem. So this whole 205 Live thing, this whole tour was pretty much supposed to be on Enzo, being to the fact,
and you're right, I know.
But the problem with that is, and we're probably going to talk about this more when we get into all segments, Enzo's sick, and I thought that it was like fake. No, he's legit sick and everything. They wanted him, being to the fact of how they don't want to go through another thing of having like the Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt sickness thing. They told him to stay home.
Affected the whole pay-per-view.
Yeah, like they're doing that. They told him to stay home. So he hasn't really been working any shows this week because they want him to make sure that he's 100%. Even though he's
he's sick because the match that they've been advertising for almost a month now was they couldn't even do it.
Yeah.
Which was him defending his cruiserweight title against the winner of that tournament, which this is what I find so frustrating, because despite whatever, I actually was into this storyline, because the fact that they were willing, because that's the thing that it showed that we somewhat cared, because if they didn't care, this whole storyline would have been on 205 Live, right?
Yeah.
The whole who's going to be the next number one contender for the cruiserweight title. They'd have put on 205 Live. They wouldn't have gave a fuck. The fact that they was willing to give it time on Monday Night Raw, even for freaking commercial breaks, it showed that they somewhat cared. And the final two was Drew Gulak versus Rich Swann. We all know what happened there, because Rich Swann. So they had to redo it. They had to basically delay themselves a week what they were originally going to do. And they gave it to Cedric Alexander. And then he finally did the number one contenders match, and Cedric Alexander won, which I was shocked. I thought they didn't give it to Drew Gulak, which made it even more interesting to me, because was Drew Gulak going to really help Enzo or not win? And we never saw it. So it's like, it frustrates me, because when 205 Live is someone on a roll, it gets destroyed somehow. Perfect example. The whole Neville shit. What happened? It's like, it's just so frustrating when they're trying to do something. So I can't blame the writers, because this whole storyline, the writers once was doing something right. I don't blame them, because they can't control what Rich Swann did. And then now Enzo's sick. They can't control that. So, but it's like, it's just losing the momentum. Now, I'm kind of, in terms of actually believing it was due to low ticket sales, I buy that, because if that's the case, why are the other two shows still going on as of right now?
Well, I'll say it like this: I don't think it's a complete no-so.
Because they sold it. That's my point. Because I know I get it. If it was low ticket sales, they wouldn't bother. They would have canceled themselves. It's obviously enough to justify them going there. So I wouldn't believe, because not WWE. I want to clarify that the reasoning did not come from WWE people who were whatever place it was hosting it. They said it was due to routing and scheduling issues. In a lot of things. But we didn't actually say that themselves. So, I mean, I know Dave Meltzer, where it's like, believe him or not, yes, I know he's accurate in most of the times, but he said it was due to ticket sales. really agree with that because, again, why are the other two shows based? Why would the other two shows still be going on?
I don't know. Sometimes you can't really go into the mind of wrestling promoters or whatever because what what they think might make sense to them might not make sense to us. I mean, that's
Yeah,
pretty
so
much
it's like
how I
I
feel.
don't. That's why I don't really. I mean, that it seems like a logical based on how 205 Live is. That seems like a logical answer to the low ticket sales, but again, why are the other? Because if I look just one quick glance at the website as I'm looking, both the 205 live show in Lowell and the one on in New York are still on.
Yeah.
So as of right now, because they updated the website, obviously, so the other one's not on there. So that's my point. That's
Another
why it's like,
another thing. Now that I think about it, another thing is they don't they don't they're not touring but so much. Right? Like,
yeah, because
isn't it like a East Coast type tour or something like that?
yeah, this was a whole East Coast tour. It was where is this? I'm assuming this is what is this? Massachusetts. It was Massachusetts, New York, and the original place was Rhode Island. Yeah, this was an all East Coast thing. This was to test the waters. I know what this whole like. I'm not kind of kid myself. It wasn't. Oh, they finally giving them a chance, what they rightfully deserve. No,
Well,
really.
listen, I do feel like that's what they deserve.
Oh yeah, no,
Yes,
no.
but
Don't get me wrong. And I do. I was speaking in the mind of the WWE. They don't take that,
I feel like that if they were
but
going to do this the right way, they were going to do it the right way and everything, which they not. They could have just, I don't know.
Philadelphia.
Well, not just Philadelphia. I mean, they can
Luda.
tour. Touring, the fact that they touring is fine. It's just the fact that I feel like that they don't. I feel like that they don't actually have faith in it because, like I said, y'all just decided to add Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt to it.
Bray
That right
Wyatt.
there, that right there, I'm
Should have
like,
gave your. I know if I would, and that's why I don't like because it's like okay, and especially what they're doing now, which I under.
y'all took one of the a good feud that's going on right now in Raw, and y'all like,
Well,
okay, fine,
in their in
go
their
ahead.
defense, I feel like this is just not just to drive ticket sales, but for I guess it's for at least in their case for rehearsal for Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy when they have their eventual
That's what,
match on TV.
but that's what for live shows are for. That's what the regular live shows are for.
I know that's what I'm saying, but for in their case, I think this is just for rehearsal for them.
I mean, yeah,
So
but
it was like, why not? That's why they probably said why not?
I
Because
mean, like I said,
and
yeah, but
here's
at
the
the
thing I
same
want to point
time,
out: on these shows means that they're not actually because actually I want to point this out then. The fact that they're on, for example, so 205 Live is on January 20th. That same day in the State College of Pennsylvania, Raw's doing a live event there. So the fact that those two superstars weren't even scheduled to be on that show means that they weren't doing anything to begin with.
or for what we thought, we don't know they had anything scheduled for them. To be honest,
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm just
to,
saying because they're running the same day.
yeah, they run the same day, yes, but how would you feel if like like I said, it's one of these things that you don't know what's going on in their head. So they're sitting here and they're telling them, "Hey, so here's the deal. We have a live event coming up. How about instead of being on this thing, on a Raw thing, and give you like the third match on this thing because we all know main event's probably gonna be something like Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe, or something with Seth Rollins or whatever. How about we put you second to main event? Just saying if that's what they're going to do, a second to main event match, but for 205 Live.
Which, I mean, yes, I know. Trust me, I do get your point. It's basically just it was just basically a strategy, a marketing move. Essentially, it was like, well, in case these fans, we're not giving them a reason to go to these shows.
Also, here's another thing.
We're giving them a reason now.
Also, here's another thing. They announced 205 Live, the 205 Live shows before the Walking Matt Hardy thing even started.
They even existed. I know. So this was obviously no, and you're right. This was obviously last minute thing that they decided to add.
So it's not like one of those things of the 205 Live tour, and we're also going to add this. No, I feel like they announced these tours back in like late October, November, when tickets wasn't. I want to say they announced it like. Live.
They actually announced it all the way back in December 4th. There we go. So I do think that Matt Hardy and no, I do believe. Yeah, it does seem.
Or even that, or even that, I saw news about it.
Yeah, no, you're right, because they Nelson report. I do remember that though. He reported weeks ago that it was a rumored 205 live events happening.
But how long has the Walking Matt Hardy?
Well, I can give you the exact date. Just to see if it coincides. So I can give you the exact date actually. When he literally just started to.
The first Walking Matt Hardy promo.
Okay, give me a second, and we'll see if the time frame makes sense. People say the same day, actually.
Okay, now
he did the promo the same exact day, actually.
Okay, now let's say it like this. By now, they probably expect ticket sales to go.
Well, yeah, obviously, because we're in a month. Yeah, I know we're like less than a month there. So
they expect ticket sales, and ticket sales wasn't flying off the handle like they expected to. So that's where they were probably just like, okay, same as that time, this whole Matt Hardy thing just exploded. Here's a crazy idea. How about we just add it to them?
I know, but it's like you're defeating the purpose of the show because you're basically of these live events because you're basically telling the whole point of this was to see if these guys, well, mainly Enzo, well, the whole point is really Enzo, to see if Enzo can actually carry this brand on a domestic scale.
Which I will agree.
He can. To
an extent, yes. For some reason, even though you still can't
I know, but hey, he was able to drop he is I know, despite his critics, he is the reason why 205. I mean, I hate to say it, he kind of is. He is kind of the reason why 205 Live even somewhat have exposure. Again, what hurts the most when he cut that promo on Neville, the 9 months he was champion, he never even was in the main event. But yet Enzo somehow was. So it's like he's doing. They have faith in Enzo, which is shocking to say. So I guess they wanted to see again how well can he actually do on like a domestic sale where it's like, okay, these guys this will open the doors to so many possibilities where it's like, okay, now these guys they don't have to be part of the Raw live events anymore. They can literally do their own thing, which in turn will make more money for them. Which in turn will get them more exposure. So when they actually show up on like Monday Night Raw and 205 Live, the actual tapings, there won't be no zero reactions. because they will know who these people are. It will just be a win-win in general. Because obviously live events, I'm pretty sure they themselves make money off of it, so it'll just be a win-win situation. But listen to one of the Wrestling Observer's podcasts. You know what kills me about 205 Live?
What's that?
They're following the same exact mistake as ECW. Now, the revived ECW is shit anyway. But it's at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday. The same.
That was actually one of my biggest gripes with the fact of that you put it on at a time like it's after SmackDown, even though
I know it's bad enough. I know that is the first issue. It's right after your second most important show of the week. It's right after that,
and most people might want to go home after SmackDown.
Exactly.
No, so SmackDown is 2 hours. It's a school night. People trying to go home. Most people actually leave during 205 Live because they don't want to sit through it. It's like, look, this is late. I got hyped up. I just want to go home.
Because it just doesn't make any sense. It's like, why would y'all put it after the show? Now I get it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be called 205 Live for God's sakes. Just call it 205 and just tape it and put it on Thursdays. That's so much better because nothing's happening on Thursday. What, people are gonna watch Impact Wrestling? I don't think so. So
well, hold on. I will say, as of late,
yeah, I know. I did see.
There's been some
growth.
There's been some good things going on in Impact. Not enough to get me to watch, but I have been checking out clips. Then let them keep up.
Well, no, again, Impact Wrestling in terms of their wrestlers was never bad. It's just whoever the fuck is producing the show is horrible.
Oh yeah,
that's the issue.
If you're like me, you just watch it as far as the wrestling, won't be disappointed because the wrestling at least is good.
Yeah, that was never the issue. It was just whoever booked the god awful show that has know nothing about wrestling, clearly. But like, it's just that's the thing. Just put it on. Either put it on Thursday, and this is what I don't understand. Why can't they put it on Thursday? That's what I want to. That's what I want to understand. What's stopping them from putting it on Thursday? It's not like it airs on TV. It's on the WWE Network. And so they literally have the power.
Didn't they also get rid of Superstars or?
Yes, they got rid of Superstars just to fucking air this. So it's like with Superstars didn't even air until. Thank you for proving my point. They got rid of Superstars, which didn't even air until Thursday anyway, or sometimes Friday. I remember it used to air on Fridays actually, but that's besides the point. Why are y'all putting it on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock where I just sat through 2 hours of SmackDown? Now, yes, I get it. If I watch 3 hours of Raw, I could probably watch another 3 hours, but that's not the point. The point is, it's like, why are you putting right after SmackDown for a show that has nothing to do with the show I just fucking watched? I think that's really the issue here. And it's just, put it on Thursdays, like any other sane person. Again, just back to back NXT and 205 Live on Wednesdays. I guarantee you people will watch it. Yeah, show what it could be taped. So the fuck what? NXT is taped. What is stopping? And that's always the highest rated show of the week, every single week.
Like I said, we don't know what they we don't really know what the bookers or anybody have in mind when they do these things.
I hate to say it. I just wish the Davis McMahon decides to leave. Triple H takes over. Hopefully 205. I'm not gonna lie at this rate. I don't 205 lasting for another year. I can see that. Because they're gonna give this whole Enzo thing at least a year to see where this actually goes. They almost did it with Neville to a point. So yeah, and hey, I mean it did pass the 1 year mark, so Then again, ECW ran for 3 years, but we're not going to talk about that. So it's like, I don't think they're going to cancel it because I think that's going to be them losing money more to cancel it at this point.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why I don't think they're actually going to do that. They're going to have to do something with these guys. Just put it on. My best recommendation: scratch off the live bullshit, put it on Thursdays, or put it on Wednesday as like a double header with NXT. Because let me tell you something. Do you know what airs after NXT? You know what I realized when I watch NXT after that?
What?
A fucking replay of it. Understand? Which is insane when you think about it, because it's like I can just watch it on demand if I wanted to. Why would you put it on the schedule if I could just watch it on demand? But yeah, let's talk about the mixed match challenge for a second. Ron?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm reading all right, so you must know what I'm doing. Beforehand, when you told me that you was doing the podcast, all right, so let me tell you, let me give you a little backstage stuff. We're gonna pull the curtains, the kayfabe of our podcast here. Last week, I said I probably wasn't gonna be on it. I had something to do today, and then this white stuff outside happened. And then this bitter coldness happened. And I don't usually go anywhere when it's bitter cold or anything like that. So, I stayed at my friend's house yesterday, but I came home this morning because he had to go to work. I've been here all day. Yesterday, I was on Twitter when I was at my friend's. I happened to see him post a little ad that he did. And I'm sitting here thinking, oh, he did it on Friday. Okay. All right, fine. Then he sends me a message about half an hour ago saying, hey, you said you wasn't going to do the podcast. And I'm like, I thought you did it last night. No, I'm doing it tonight. Oh, well, let me eat something and then I'll be up. Same time, I'm watching a Street Fighter 3 tournament in Japan on the other screen, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's one of the big ones that is going on right now in Japan. And I've been watching that. So I'm talking to you. I'm doing a podcast. But if you see my eyes doing this, or you see my head doing this, it's because I'm also watching this. So if you hear like a dead silence, I apologize. Because I totally forgot that this tournament was happening, thinking that, nothing was going to go on. So I apologize because I'm an idiot. But anyway, with that said, what were you going to talk about again?
I know, the mixed match challenge.
Mismatch challenge. Okay, so they have already announced some of the people that are going to
be. We have 6 teams total, 3 each for the brand. So to review for you guys, if you guys have no idea what this is, the mixed match challenge is a mini series that can be airing exclusive on Facebook right after Smackdown on Tuesdays.
It's also interesting. I think to tell you the truth, I'm gonna tell you the truth now. We'll talk about something being taped. I think they're taped.
The mixed match challenge?
Yes. Yes, they're going to be airing.
No, they're saying it's airing live. No, it's airing live. I guarantee you the segments might be taped. They're filming it. No, they're filming it at the same location. So yes, what I'm implying is that the Raw superstars that you're going to be seeing on Monday are going to have to fly
or drive, depending on how far they are.
Or drive, yeah. Just to do that, which is mind-boggling. Which, you know what? In hindsight, how did I not see this happen? because when they first announced this, I was like, well, where the fuck is Roman and Seth and Dean before he got injured? But then a thought clicked in my head. Well, then what the fuck is the Raw live events then? It was just one quick glance at the live events, and this will prove my point. So, the Mismatch Challenge starts January 16th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, to put that in perspective, let me just do one quick search.
Also, they already announced like most of their wrestlers and stuff.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, well, can I look at it now? It makes perfect sense why, because usually Raw would have a live event on the same day as SmackDown's taping and vice versa, where when Raw would have a taping show, SmackDown would have a live event running somewhere else. They don't. No, only SmackDown has a event that's happened the same day as Raw taping, but Raw doesn't. Because they knew this was going to happen. Most of their top stars to go to fucking SmackDown the next day.
Well,
just for a show at 10 o'clock, and then 205 Live gets the shaft, and they have to air at 10:35, and they still expect people to care. You see my point?
Interesting.
In this, you see my point. And the kicker of all of this, the Mismatch Challenge is not even airing on the day we network. So let's just put that in perspective for a second. It's not even airing on the day we network, but they're willing to give Facebook the time of day that they can't give their own product on their own network.
Like I said earlier, you don't know what goes on in the mind. You don't know what's going on in the mind of the people who makes these decisions. Okay, so with that said,
put it on Wednesday
know.
Then. Like for fuck's sakes, then just put it on Wednesday. 2 hour back to back with NXT. Like that.
I don't know.
But anyway, so yeah.
What we have. Okay, it's a tournament. By the way,
yeah,
I should ask this. I haven't really looked it up, but this tournament, does it go for anything, or is it just for bragging rights?
No. This is the kicker. That where it's like this is a debate as to does this really make sense? So. Yes, it's also for one hand it's for brand supremacy, which is like, well, what was the point of Survivor Series? But that's besides the point. The second thing is the winning team. Now here's the kicker, where it's like, really, charity against the pick of charity of theirs choosing.
Oh, okay.
Donate $100,000 to that charity.
All right, but at least it's going to something good.
There's one issue with that.
What's that?
Which means before this tournament starts, they know who's going to fucking win the tournament. Honesty.
Which means that whatever and you know what? And no one hasn't said what charity they're going to give to yet. Are they going to wait? Are they going to wait till the end to say, well, now that you won this tournament, what charity are you going to give it to?
Isn't G. Goldman charity? Wow. That's what I find the most hilarious about. It's like, so it's $100,000 charity of their choice. Now their pairings will attempt to win 100 million. They're putting it on the superstars, which I find hilarious. Like they had any choice whatsoever. But superstars, right? So unless all the matches are shoot fights, they already know who's going to fucking win the tournament. Before this tournament even started, they know who's going to fucking win. So it's like, it doesn't even matter what charity it is because they already know what charity is in the back of their head. Who's going to fucking win? When I first heard about this, it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like, that's why I said, like, are these fights scripted or not? Then try to figure that out.
That's actually a good question. Now,
that's the one issue with this tournament. I mean, the idea in general, I like. Don't get me wrong, but it's because again, mixed tag team matches we never get if ever. This theory in general, but like just the end goal of it just makes zero sense.
Well, also,
yeah, go ahead.
Well, also, I would say this. I will give them the benefit of the fact that they're not. Well, except for two people. And actually, there's a bit of surprise on who's with who, except for two people.
Like,
for instance, and I guess we can go ahead and talk about who they announced so far. So far, I would say this: when they first announced it, I kind of had my quote fantasy unquote people who I wanted to team up. I kind of for me selfish. I kind of wanted Oscar versus Braun Strowman because that's just not fair.
I know that by default they just won the whole tournament based on how they're booked alone. They just won the whole tournament.
But they decided to go with Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss.
Which is an interesting dynamic. It is. I would say out of all of them so far, this is the most interesting one because this is the only pairing where they roll, as in they're not both faces or they're not both heels.
Yeah. Then you have which I think is actually which I actually think this is a good thing. Charlotte Flair and Bobby Roode.
Oh yeah, this was a good one. And Bobby Roode.
Okay, you have Ric Flair's daughter and TNA's Ric Flair.
Yeah, and I think that's why they did that.
You know,
I love how Smackdown everybody's happy with who they have, and Raw's like,
yeah, but
that's how it is. SmackDown, they're perfectly fine with it, but Raw's like, man, what the fuck?
But then you also have something that I expected to happen. Lana and Rusev, the rabbit.
Oh yeah. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. That I was expecting them to say, you know, it'd be funny if we have the only two real life couples in this tournament. They switch. The team up with Naomi and Lana teams up with Jimmy Uso just because it's funny.
Yeah, which is another team.
No, I was half expecting that.
Which is another team, as you just said, Naomi and Jimmy Uso. Then you had on Raw's side, which is actually funny if you follow the Twitter and you see the exchange. It's Finn Balor.
You talking between Finn Balor? Yeah, it's not just me because like
because
Bailey expected Bailey.
You know, and Bailey asked. Like Bailey was like, you know, he wanted to be with them and everything, but apparently Sasha Banks got Finn Balor, and Bailey's like, bitch. Like, you know, I liked him, but it's always a friendly thing that goes on between them two. Anyway, like for instance, you have Nia. Well, Nia Jax hasn't been picked yet, I don't think. But Nia Jax wanted the Braun Strowman.
No, she was.
But she got. I don't know who Nia Jax has yet. But
well, you don't. No. They announced it yesterday. Yeah, I'm gonna say they announced yesterday because he wasn't even supposed to be in the freaking tournament to begin with.
Yeah, it's I'm Apollo Crews.
You know why he forgot? Because it doesn't make any fucking sense. That's why.
Well, they actually it does make sense. There was actually from what I've heard, they was actually supposed to make Nia Jax and Enzo go, but Enzo is not. But
Oh,
Enzo,
so he got sick. So
yeah, he got sick, and
they
like I said
figured.
earlier,
No, but my whole thing is why Apollo out of everybody on the roster, single person on your Raw roster.
get the man something to do.
No. Like let's really think. Cruising.
Get the man something to do.
Just the most irrelevant. I mean, I'm not taking away of his in-ring ability, but essentially the most irrelevant guy on the roster. Heath Slater would have been more of a viable option at this point.
Like I said, give the man something to do.
And I'm already calling it. Team I think that's going to win the whole fucking thing is Apollo Crews and Nia Jax, because why not?
Well, wait, hold on with that thought. With that thought, apparently we still haven't announced who Oscar's going to be with.
Jeez.
Okay, because they've been trying to have Oscar and Goldust.
I mean, who's left? Let me see who's left on the Raw roster. The men's side, you have The Miz, Goldust, and I don't know yet, which is either Samoa Joe, Jason Jordan. So, know who's that last guy is going to be. So, right now, Asuka's choices are either The Miz or Goldust, as of right now, because we don't know that third person yet.
Yeah.
And out of the two, wait, who else is left on the women's? I see Bailey and The Miz. I can see, I already know the rest of the team. I'm calling it. It's Alicia Fox and Goldust. I see Bailey and The Miz. And I see Asuka teaming up with whoever that third person is, which is most likely Samoa Joe.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah, that's what I said. I can actually see that. And so we have the SmackDown side left. Kimura, I can see.
Also, one of the New Day, because I think the New Day and Carmella, they was trying to get into it.
Yeah, whoever whichever New Day.
Well,
that could be a joke.
Actually, I wanted to say something about that because you said something last week that I said that probably won't happen. And apparently, it is going to happen.
What happened?
You want me to get into it now? Or you want to wait to SmackDown?
I legit don't know what happened.
Okay, so last week he said, being the fact of Xavier Woods being into the United States title, United States title picture, you asked the question of what would happen if Xavier Woods win. Do you think that that all three of them would be United States champion? And I said, I said that probably won't happen. But they just said it right then and there. They on the they kind of confirmed when there was a little backstage segment when they were just like, "Well, don't you know that if you win the United States, as Xavier Woods says, when I win the United States title, we all." And I'm just like,
because I said, why not? Because let's be realistic for a second. It doesn't matter anymore. Ever since dropped it kind of went irrelevant again. So it doesn't really matter who. Dolph Ziggler winning it was shocker, yes. So I don't know what's the result of that's going to be, because we still have the whole Dolph Ziggler factor that we don't know nothing about.
Well, apparently,
It's unrealistic.
I feel like after the
It seems obvious based on
I feel like after somebody wins the
for the
United States
New Day.
title,
Yeah, for the New Day to win the title, it had to be Jinder Mahal, which I'm not saying is impossible, but that would require Mojo Rawley to beat Bobby Roode.
so you pretty much
So let's
saying
put
that so you pretty much saying that this might be a continuation of um Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler.
yeah, I can see that. Because again, I mean, again, that will require Mojo Rawley to beat because there's no way in hell Bobby Roode is facing Xavier Woods.
No.
Unless he's turning heel,
No.
which to be honest with you, that should have been the very beginning. But
let's not get too much into it. That's SmackDown.
I don't. Yeah, that is SmackDown. Yeah, but yeah. So yeah. Before we get to even the shows, yeah. Just so for predictions on the SmackDown side, who do you think Shinsuke Nakamura is going to team up with?
Well, who's left in the women's?
For the women, it's Natalia, Carmella, and Becky.
I can see him and Becky.
That's what I was gonna say too. I can see Sammy and Natalia for some reason.
Yeah.
And I can see whoever the final vote is with Carmella. I can see that. Yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura and Becky makes sense, and I can see Sammy and Natalia. Which don't you love how she didn't quit? Because based on that class champions promo at the end, that was the case, but that never came to fruition.
I kind of feel like that
because none of that made sense.
I kind of feel like that she just said that, but then the writers backstage was like, you know what? We probably don't know really what to do with that.
It made no sense because they knew they were going to announce Raw. And this is what kills me. Have you ever read that report that they gave out after the whole Women's Royal Rumble that backstage women had no idea that she was going to announce the Women's Royal Rumble? Really? You guys didn't know, but every freaking guy on Twitter or person knew on Twitter that they was going to announce it the second they saw Stephanie? Really? Yeah. Are y'all that deluded? Like, let's not, like, really?
Well, no, at the same time, they probably could have kept it a secret. They probably could have told the guys, let's keep this a secret. Don't tell any of the female. I mean, that could be a possibility.
But it seems so far-fetched. Like, I find that hard to believe.
It could be a possibility.
Which is true. All right. So Monday Night Raw. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw took place in Miami, Florida. And the main focus was Brock Lesnar, which I find hilarious. Brock Lesnar was willing to work on New Year's Day, but not Christmas. You won't dare call him on Christmas.
He has family.
But so did everybody else. So, but as I said, like they knew not to call him a Brock. That probably was their first thought. They're like, we really need to sell this Christmas episode, but we can't call fucking Brock, despite the fact that they gave him their most valuable title. But we can't call him.
You want to know what we should probably call this episode?
What?
We do not know what the what the bookers of the WWE is thinking in their head.
Of course they don't.
Because we really don't know what they're thinking.
So let's begin the show. First off, the Raw general manager Kurt Angle announced the rules of the Women's Royal Rumble match, which, shocker, is the same thing as the men's. Now, the only thing, because why would it change? The only thing I
feel like the reason why is because there was a lot of speculation of, because I mean, this was a lot of people talking about online and stuff. It's like, how are you going to have a women's Royal Rumble match, but you don't have that many females?
And that's the only issue. I had no issue with him explaining the rules. The only thing I hated about this, why did you reveal the number of entrants? Y'all should have waited till at least the day of. We didn't have to know the number of entrants because you're right, that's the issue. The Men's Royal Rumble match, it really is who the hell is going to be a part of it, because obviously there's more than 30 males on the roster, so they can pretend like, oh, there might be a surprise entrant, but it might not be. There's always that surprise factor. For the women, for you to announce 30, well, no fucking shit. Some people from NXT are going to be a part of it.
I feel like there's going to be some NXT ones. There's going to be some of the people from the Mae Young Classic that's going to be there. So that pretty much made. I mean, and then that just made sense all in all because a lot of people was wondering, well, what's going to happen to some of the Mae Young Classic girls who
Or
didn't sign or whatever. And the thing is that it's the same as that thing as Cruiserweight Champions that some people don't seem to understand. Because you don't see your favorite who won the tournament, that does not mean that
they're not.
they're not signed.
Yeah.
There are people who are signed there, and there's some who are not signed to the WWE.
No, you're right.
Like for instance, Zack Sabre Jr.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't sign because I feel like that they wanted Zack Sabre Jr. there, but Zack was like, listen, I'm here just for a paycheck.
You know what?
And,
Let's talk about that for a second. How different now? Let's just speculate. How different would you think the cruiserweight division would be if people like both Zack Sabre Jr. and Kota Ibushi was part of the cruiserweight division?
well, I could say like this personally. Zack Sabre Jr. wouldn't last there. Not saying that they would like beat him or anything like that. I don't think he would last there because it's the same as that thing. It's the same as that thing of Neville. Um, I mean not Neville. Austin Aries.
Yeah,
Austin Aries wanted to be on the main roster. Austin Aries wanted to face main roster people.
because he already did it in NXT.
Yes, he felt like he can beat main roster people, but you stuck him in the cruiserweights, and he didn't want that. The same as that thing will probably happen to Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. can face. He has faced, but I feel like he can face um the same people on the main roster because he's just a skinny looking person. He can bend people.
Well, no, and I know I see when cruiserweight. No, you're 100% right. I feel like their mindset, which to a point I agree with, but to some points I don't agree with. Whatever you did outside WWE doesn't matter to them, which to a point, that's their mindset. So it's like in their eyes, we don't give a fuck. You're 205. You're under 205. Guess where you're gonna be at. And that's somewhat their mindset. I know. The only exception to that rule is clearly Finn Balor.
Well, I feel like they had for Finn Balor in the beginning
because he was the fucking first Universal Champion. So it was obviously an exception.
I feel like for Finn Balor in that instance is because they had plans for him. They had plans for him, but he then got injured, and now they just don't know what the fuck to do with him.
Well, now they do based on this episode, which they should have. Hindsight's 2020.
I want to get to.
I know. We're gonna get came out of left field. No promotion. I
want to get to that in a second.
We are. But but back to this though. Not to get all too top. The women's thing. The only issue I personally had with this was y'all could announce the rules saying it's over the top rope, which I don't know why some people. I mean, I can see why people would complain where it's like, why is it over the top rope? We don't know what the women can and cannot do. They was never put in a position to do these types of things. For example, nobody thought the women could do a Money in the Bank ladder match, and they did.
Well, and this ain't the first. This is the first women's Royal Rumble. This is not the first women's Battle Royal.
I know. So
so they had to some of these people need to understand. Some of these girls are small. They're not all tall, and you're not going to throw these people over the top rope because that's a kind of a high climb.
Yeah, the only realistic people they can throw over the top rope is Alicia Fox and Nia Jax.
Yeah,
those are like the only two people they can realistically throw because they're like the only two people that have like a significant height difference. All the other, that's I find hilarious. All the other women are pretty much the same height when you think about it, except for Alexa Bliss. She is short as shit. But everybody
she's
else,
not even gonna be. She's not even going to be.
She's not even part of it. So that's what I said. The only two people that you can legit throw over the top rope is Alicia Fox and Nia Jax. That's it. The rest of them, It's up to y'all. But yeah, so that's my only issue. You announced 30, because now it's kind of obvious that there's gonna be surprise entrants. Thanks for spoiling that. But yeah,
Yeah, this is that.
yeah.
But then again, my question is who?
Well, some people are obvious. Like I can see Nikki Bella coming in. I can see that. I can't see Brie unless she's cleared to.
I think
I can see Nikki though.
I think Bree is officially done
Yeah, done. Of course,
because
she
she's
has.
a
I
mom
know.
now.
Yeah, I
I
know.
mean,
That's what
I'm not saying she's a kid. I mean, because she has a kid. There are people who wrestle who has a kid.
I know.
Film,
I know. I know.
and everything like that. I just think that she personally,
Cares more about.
yeah, I think that she's just done.
And no, and you're right. So that's why that's why I said Nikki. I can see Nikki more than Brie. I can see Trish Stratus. I can see Lita.
Leah, yeah, because
I
she
can't.
has been doing
That's why I said
exclusivity.
yeah. So they obviously have access to her if they want to use her. So
I just don't see her doing anything big. She ain't doing no Hurricane.
oh no, of
She'll
course
do
not. Who else?
she'll do it just here and there.
I can possibly see Michelle McCool. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Um I was gonna say Mickey James, but oh yeah, shit, she is
I mean, Mickey James is here.
is here. Never mind. I was like, never mind. Uh Melina.
Melina? Hell no. They
I
Melina.
know that.
No one likes Melina. No, I don't think
You know
Melina.
what? Fuck it. Here's one. Everybody will lose their shit. Ema Marie.
Okay,
Philadelphia will erupt. I'm telling you.
so
I'm not saying in a good
with what you
way.
come so the next segment here.
I'm just saying. No, that crowd is Philadelphia. They would erupt.
That's actually something I'm afraid of. I'm going to my
Because
friend.
you know that girl.
I'm going to my friend's house to watch Royal
The Royal
Rumble,
Rumble.
and my friend lives
Free Marie.
across, like, I can't say across the street, like across the highway. But as I'm walking to his house, I can see the Wells Fargo Center.
Ah.
Okay, and we joked that maybe if he could find a way to get to his roof, maybe we can watch up there in the roof. So then, just in case if
Roman wins.
yeah, Roman wins, we can actually see the place melt down.
Yeah, because it is. Because it's fucking insane. Which, although as of this week, I don't think he's actually based on everything that has come out of this week, which I'll explain as we get to it. I don't think Roman's actually even a part of the Royal Rumble, and I'll explain why in a second. But yeah. So moving on, we had a impromptu match between Jason Jordan and Cesaro. This happened because right after Kurt Angle made that announcement, Sheamus and Cesaro came out and say they were basically robbed of their titles because they was ever supposed to even face Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan. Jason Jordan came out cocky as he said, "Well, you've never supposed to face me. How come I have this?" And whatnot. Seth Rollins came out, which I don't understand what they're doing because if Seth Rollins is supposed to be the face, why is Seth Rollins downplaying the other supposed face, which is Jason Jordan? So I
Well,
really don't understand.
I'll tell you why. Even though I didn't see this because I was at I went to go see the new Star Wars movie and stuff.
Uh,
But I can tell you why I feel that because what's it come? Jason Jordan kind of feels, and you seen it in the end of the match. I did see a little bit of the thing. He feels like that he's entitled. You might say like I'm because the whole thing like I'm better than Dean Ambrose
yes.
and whatnot. And here it is now. He's trying to prove You don't need Dean Ambrose. Got me.
No, he definitely needs Dean Ambrose.
Well, I mean, yeah, duh. But
But it's like, yeah, no, yeah, you're right, yeah. You could based on the ending it have, you could basically how the ending was Sheamus tried to interfere, Seth Rollins stopped him, Cesaro got distracted, then he put up in the angle slam net breaker combo to win, and Seth Rollins tried to congratulate him, but then Jason Jordan just left. So he's more of a
yeah,
yeah, I did this myself, despite the fact that you were about to lose because of Sheamus, but Seth Rollins saved your ass. But yeah, no, so I do see where you're coming from.
yeah. So it's Jason Jordan being the cocky, the cocky person of what's a Dean Ambrose? You got me.
Yep. No, yeah, you're right. Bray Wyatt, which I was shocked. Not only I was like shocked that he had a match, but he actually won a match. Well, it was I'm half joking, and it's sad at this point because it was against Apollo Crews.
I kind of came in on that note, but let's be serious. Look who he's facing here.
I know Apollo Crews, which speaks a lot of this guy because it's like, damn, he got caught up too early in NXT because again, why was he? It's just he was here before Austin Aries. That's my point. I know Austin Aries was injured, but for fuck's sakes. It's like that. He was here before Samoa Joe. And Joe was already there for almost a year at that point. Like, he was there before Finn Balor. How many? But the point is that Apollo Crews lost. He was giving him a fight. Don't get me wrong, but Bray Wyatt obviously run because if you honestly thought Apollo Crews was going to be even Bray Wyatt.
Actually, as you say it like that, it kind of makes you wonder, huh? It kind of makes you wonder Bray Wyatt's worth of saying, okay, you're going to beat him, but don't squash him.
I know it kind of shows what type of like position Bray Wyatt's in. It's like he's obviously in the mid card now again.
Well, in this point, and someone else said this to me, and I think it's true too. It's his fault that he's in the mid card. The whole thing with JoJo.
No, but my whole this happened before, but even before that wasn't his fault because it was just the way he was before the whole JoJo situation. Look how he was booked.
I mean, that's true.
It wasn't so. That's why I don't say it's. I do get your point, but it's like it can't be all his fault. He won the damn WWE title back in February, only to drop it to Randy Orton, and he never got his goddamn rifle contract.
That was around the time. That was around the time that all that was coming out.
I know, but it's like holy shit.
Like apparently the WWE doesn't really tolerate certain things, and that's probably like one of them, and that's when they kind of punished him. That's from what I'm hearing because they also punished JoJo.
Yeah,
you haven't seen JoJo in certain match or is doing certain announcing and things or anything like that.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah,
time wasn't getting the TV time also means that she wasn't getting the money.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, it was Mike Rome who was.
That's what I'm about to say. Yeah, Mike Rome usually did the stuff.
Yeah, Mike Rome was took his place.
So yeah, there's that. But after the match, Matt Hardy popped up with his screen again. Did another crazy Woken promo. And Bray Wyatt just looks so confused. Don't you find like see like Bray Wyatt's like the way this has been booked? It seems like you should be behind Bray Wyatt.
No,
now he's
Bray Wyatt. No, Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt looks like the guy that's like, I'm the goth here in my high school, but now there's another goth who's more goth than me, and he's making an ass of himself, and everybody's looking at me as if, what am I supposed to do? And you're just like,
I know his face was like so confused. Like what?
It's like I'm not this extreme. Which I don't get it.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Yeah. Um. So now there's mixed receptions on this next match. I want your thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm.
The Asuka and Alexa Bliss match. There's been I've seen a lot. It's like it's been mixed.
How so?
People were saying this match was shit because again, Alexa, it just shows yet again Alexa doesn't know how to take a bump for anybody. Because when Asuka did that drop kick, she missed her by a mile. And Alexa already even fell before the drop kick even attempted to hit her.
Okay, so here's the thing here's the thing about wrestling. Not everything can go right.
Of course.
Not everything has to be as choreographed as it is. Not everything can go right. You sometimes when wrestlers do certain moves and everything, you can hear them say, "Slow down." One of the things that I've learned was that sometimes I was going too fast on something, and I would be somebody would say, "Slow down, slow down." So when you hear someone like that, it's like, okay, take it slow. If we get up around the same time, then we get up around the same time. But um, if you get up earlier than I do, and I'm not prepared to take this next bump, slow down. So I feel like that Alexa Bliss just needs to slow down, and because you're trying to keep up on pace with someone who is real fast, like Asuka, and it's like you probably can't. This also kind of means that maybe Asuka needs to slow down too for certain people because she has to understand not everybody can be on her pace either.
I know. There's only like two people I could say is on Asuka's pace currently. That's Natalia and Charlotte, I would say. That could probably because like cause if you've seen those matches, Asuka fought with Natalia in Japan. They fought in
Yeah.
Japan. Like, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, and Becky. But it could like they know because they have experience. I'm not saying Alexa doesn't have experience, but it's like they've been doing this way before WWE. Italian Becky, so it's like they probably know how to handle how an Asuka match. But yeah, Alexa is just. I mean, I personally like when I first saw the match, I didn't really see the issue. It was just when I read everybody else is starting to actually rewatch it, I was like, well, then now, now that I look at it, yeah, you're right. When I first saw the match, personally, I didn't have an.
It's just something that they need to do. Where it's like, slow down. That's all you gotta do.
But this
Asuka, don't.
what this match did tell me though is that Alexa Bliss will not be the Raw Women's Champion comes WrestleMania.
Oh no, hell no, 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 no.
Which I know in hindsight I never truly believed anyway, but it's like this basically confirmed it. Because this was literally the only logical match Alexa Bliss could have. Because literally, Alexa Bliss has went through this entire fucking roster with the exception of Nia Jax. She went through this whole roster. Who else could she besides Paige, which will require her to turn face? Who else could she have fought in but Asuka? So the fact that they gave this away on TV, which literally implies that not only she won't be facing Asuka WrestleMania, she's more than likely, I'm now 95% sure that she's not even going to be holding the Raw Women's title come WrestleMania. Which is kind of, I know this era is different, but I don't really like that. Because let's look at last year, for example. Who for the Universal WWE Champions? Who were the two people who basically held those titles for months? AJ and Kevin Owens. No, AJ and Kevin Owens. At WrestleMania, neither one of them were part of the main event at all. They were the first two matches of the goddamn show.
Well, okay, yeah, you're right about that.
So it's like I don't like it's like basically you're telling me that their whole title run went nothing. If somehow magically they're not even a part, like they're not even in like the upper card of WrestleMania. like that like I don't because like remember back in the day, I know this is a weird example to use, but it gets to my point where Triple H basically ran Raw, and it wasn't until Batista for that whole year Triple H basically ran Raw. It wasn't until Batista at WrestleMania just overthrew him. That made sense. Because like Triple H was that like defiant champion who always got away with Evolution, like because of his group and whatnot. And like it was just he was like basically like this war god that nobody could beat. And then came Batista, and he beat like that. To me, that was perfect storytelling, in my opinion. Or of a champ. So it's like, yeah, you're basically telling me Alexa Bliss's reign because this whole year, 2017 was basically her year. It was literally her year. Nobody stopped her. I mean, she lost the title to Sasha Banks, but she won it back in 2 weeks anyway, so it didn't fucking matter. So, and actually, let's talk about Sasha Banks for a second. What happened?
Actually, did you see the report? I mean, I don't believe it pretty much, but there's 2 reports going out.
What?
Apparently, they've given up on Bayley and Sasha
Oh,
Banks.
yeah, well, Dave Meltzer didn't have to say that. I knew that the second she lost to Mickie James on that episode of Raw.
Yeah, but apparently they gave up on them too. And I'm like, I don't personally
think they gave up on Sasha. No, they know Sasha.
Some people say Sasha too.
No. I don't believe. I believe Bayley because that was obvious. But Sasha, they know how much of a cat. I know I'm not saying Bayley's not a cash cow, but Sasha Banks is more of a cash. It's more. She's more. Sasha Banks is more profitable than Bayley. I would say that. So for that reason, they haven't exactly given. It's the same reason. I hate to use this as comparison. Sasha Banks is kind of in a position as Enzo Amore, where it's like, yeah, we're not going to do crap with you, but for some reason you still sell a lot, so we have to somewhat market you in the right way. I feel like that's the position Sasha Banks is in.
I feel like I feel once again it's one of those things of I feel like they're going to get their time. It's just a fact of like sometimes the writers just have too much to go, have too much to do. You know, like it's like okay, we want to have Sasha on this, but then we got to focus on this person. Oh, and we just brought in Oscar, but then hey, we just brought back Paige and these two.
Well, you know what happened? I feel like what screwed it up for Bayley, which is not technically her fault, was when she got injured. Because if you remember, she was originally supposed to face Alexa Bliss for her title. It was supposed to be that whole redemption story. Remember that?
Yeah, true.
She was the number 1 contender. So it's like I think they were actually so much so that she was on the goddamn poster for SummerSlam. So I think they were.
You're right about that.
That's why I said so. I think up until that point, they did have something for Bayley, but the second she got injured, they was like, you know what, fuck it. They had to switch the obvious because the fact that Alexa dropped the title, which would imply to me that she was originally supposed to lose it anyway. So they just gave it to Sasha instead. But they just made Sasha. But the whole joke with Sasha is that she can never successfully defend her title. So they was like, why not? And do it again and make her look like a complete joke when she lost to Alexa Bliss. Cleanly, may I add you. Not because Alexa Bliss cheated. I remember that match very, very well. She did it cleanly. Because she can never successfully defend the title. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Once again, we don't know what goes on in that man's head.
Like, but yeah, I did. But yeah, I did read that report about Bayley. I never actually seen the report on Sasha. The Bayley one, you're right about that, but nothing about Sasha.
I could have saw Sasha too. I mean, I might be wrong, but either of a way,
I'm not saying you're wrong.
That's something you don't want to hear.
Yeah, but Bayley, no, they didn't have to tell me that. I knew. They gave up on Bailey. She's an afterthought. The second you start losing to Mickie James, which is this is what Dave Meltzer said, which Mickie James sole purpose to put over other women. The second you lose to her, you should know exactly how they feel about you. And they feel as though the person who's supposed to putting the other women over should go over you. That should be a clear example of how they feel about you. So there's that. Braun Strowman versus Heath Slater and Rhino, which it was an entertaining match too. Oh, it was hilarious. Did you see the segment where Strowman, when Heath Slater was trying to interfere, Strowman said, hey, "You got two choices. You can step aside or come in the ring and get these hands." I was laughing when he said that. That was actually pretty funny because obviously he did squash both of them easily. So they're just waiting for Brock Lesnar. So there's that. Then we had this was match of the night, don't get me wrong, but it's like I don't understand the ending because I don't know where they're going with this. You had Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe. The stipulation was if Reigns were to get disqualified, he would drop his Intercontinental title. Now, this was literally their perfect excuse to not even make Roman look weak. This was their opportunity to make him look strong. And I don't even know, that makes me sick to my stomach even saying that. But for him to look strong, all they had to do was get him to a position where he would have to get himself disqualified because Samoa Joe pissed him off so much. So it was justification as to him getting disqualified. And then Samoa Joe, that's how they could have got the title off of him. Yet, for some reason, instead, what we get is he just beats him clean. I mean, the match was fine. Don't get me wrong, but
the match was fine. But at the same time, I've probably been saying this all day. I don't understand. I'm just like, what was the point of making
this whole story? This whole story seemed like, okay, this is their way of getting the title off of Roman is through Samoa Joe. Yet, the one match where it seemed pretty obvious that Joe was going to win. Oh no, Roman wins. LOL. Laws. JK, everybody. Like, it just, I don't, because now where do you go from here? I don't, I'm pretty sure this was Samoa Joe's last shot at the title for right now, at least. So Samoa Joe has to enter the Royal Rumble. I
don't know. Like I said, it's one of those things.
Now, my question now, I bring up to this point. Now, I don't think Roman Reigns is going to win the Royal Rumble because I don't think he's actually in the Royal Rumble to begin this. Because now, there's a lot of stuff news came out this week. One of the news is that John Cena, who's been announced for not only the SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view Fastlane, but he's also been announced for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view and for
Royal Rumble.
We already knew the Royal Rumble, yeah. Oh shit, I completely glossed over that. This is the episode when he announced free agent John Cena was in the Royal Rumble. I don't know why I glossed over that.
Which by the way, I think I see where this might be going. And just hear me out on this before we get a little further. You just said that John Cena is going to be in Fastlane,
which is a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view.
And he's going to be at Elimination Chamber.
Which is a Raw exclusive pay-per-view.
And he's going to be at Royal Rumble.
And he's also going to be at the night after Elimination Chamber Raw. He is confirmed for that as well.
So here's my question. Are they trying to play to the fact that John Cena is desperate?
What now? Are you mean this like in real life terms or just in his character?
is his character.
Elaborate.
Because okay,
Elaborate.
okay. Hey, John Cena is John Cena is trying to get into the main event of WrestleMania by any means necessary. He's for Royal Rumble. He doesn't win Royal Rumble. Okay, so I guess I can go to the Elimination Chamber to see if I can win the belt or something like that. Doesn't win the Elimination Chamber. All right, fine. Guess I go ahead to
Absolutely.
Fastlane and see if I can get into the contenders match and see if I can do from there. Doesn't win that.
And I don't know what they're doing with Cena, but the reason why this ties into Roman Reigns, the fact that the fact that Roman Reigns beat Samoa Joe leads me to think, because there's one thing we keep forgetting. Roman Reigns beat The Miz for the Intercontinental title. He never actually got his rematch.
Mm-hmm.
So what I can see happening is at the Royal Rumble, Roman Reigns fights The Miz for the Intercontinental title. And Roman drops it to The Miz. You're going to say that's fucking ridiculous, but because let's face it, here's what I think. Now, if I was a booker, Smackdown already lost Survivor Series, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Royal Rumble's coming up. It's fairly obvious that the Women's Royal Rumble, a Raw superstar is going to win. Let me take a wild guess and say Asuka. SmackDown has to win the Men's Royal Rumble match. Now, here's the issue with that. If that advertised fatal five-way match is true, the only superstar I can see from SmackDown winning that Royal Rumble match is Bobby Roode.
Nah, I don't
Either
see
that,
Bobby. I don't see Bobby Roode in the Royal Rumble.
either that or John Cena. Which, because due to his free agent status, which will explain why he's at Fastlane. Oh my God, John Cena is winning the Royal Rumble. You wanna know how I know that?
Man, what made you say that?
They literally just told me John Cena's winning the Royal Rumble. So let's just pretend like John Cena wasn't a free agent for a second. Why would he waste his time going to Fastlane if he's on a member of the Raw roster? He's going to Fastlane because he's going to see who's the champion who's WWE champion as of that point. You go into Elimination Chamber to see who's the Universal champion at that point.
Well,
Why?
that's one way.
Otherwise,
That's one way to look at it. I don't see.
I mean, in my perspective, like, why? Otherwise, you're wasting John Cena's time. Then I don't.
I personally don't see that. I don't see it happening like that. But
That's one way I would look at it. But no, I feel like, but I do believe either John Cena's winning or a SmackDown Live superstar is winning. Now, logic would dictate Shinsuke Nakamura, but that would.
I don't think Shinsuke is winning Royal Rumble either. Personally, as much as I hate to say this, my prediction, and it burns me to the point. If he's in the Royal Rumble, I think it's going to be Roman Reigns, and the only reason why, I hate that too. But the reason why is because, like you already said, if that match is going to happen with the Fastlane match, that's how I see.
That
Well,
no, we see, but
I feel like that's going to determine how WrestleMania is going to go. But based on the fact that we already know how Raw's WrestleMania is going to be, you know, it's just
but that's my point. That's the reason why I don't. That I said I wasn't finished. Hear me out. The reason why I'm saying SmackDown superstar has to win the Royal Rumble is because, again, Brock Lesnar's not working the damn Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So what they're going to do, not only are they going to have the first ever women's Elimination Chamber for the Raw Women's title, they're going to have a number one contenders match inside Elimination Chamber, and the winner faces Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, which obviously Roman Reigns is going to win that. I can see that realistically happening because again, let's just pretend for 1 second that Roman Reigns does win the Royal Rumble. Try to sell me on Elimination Chamber pay-per-view then, because Brock Lesnar's not appearing. I already know Roman Reigns is going to WrestleMania. What exactly are you selling the Elimination pay-per-view to me as? You see?
You know, wrestling is supposed to be fun.
I know it just makes it so hard because it's like I miss the days where it's like I didn't get so much information from behind the scenes stuff.
Or when you did get information, is because you called the 1-900 number.
Yeah, or like stuff like that. Like I didn't know nothing, and I was like, wow, I'm shocked. But like that's the way I'm looking at it. Like I'm just looking at it from a promoter's standpoint. All right, I have a pay-per-view coming up in February. Let's pretend like Roman Reigns does win the Royal Rumble. I'm not saying that he wouldn't, but okay, he's gonna win the Royal Rumble. What about our last Raw pay-per-view Elimination Chamber? Oh crap, our Universal Champion is not gonna be working that show. And we already have the number one contender, Roman Reigns. So what are we gonna do with them? What are we gonna sell me on? The women's elimination chamber, which I'm not saying that wouldn't sell, but let's be realistic here that that's not going to happen. So what exactly are they gonna sell Elimination Chamber pay-per-view on?
Mm-hmm.
It has to be a number one contenders match inside it. No, it's gonna be a Raw Women's Elimination, which is where Alexa Bliss is gonna drop that fucking title. The question is to who? Either Paige or Sasha Banks. Those are literally the only two viable people. And then the men's Royal Rumble. I mean, the men's Elimination Chamber is number one contender. So you see, like that's why I don't think, because Fastlane they can do a bunch of crap. Now that's again, I don't see WWE going back on their word with the people who are hosting that show, because again, why give them the fact that WWE was willing to give them that promotional material way in advance would imply that was the original plan. So unless plans change that at last second, the Fatal 5-Way match is happening, but that would imply that Shinsuke Nakamura is not winning the Royal Rumble. So what the fuck? That's why the only other person is John Cena.
Well, as I've said, and I'm probably beating the proverbial dead horse. We'll just see when it gets there.
Yeah,
I really don't know.
Because what I guess they could do is Cena, which is, I know you're basically screwing ourselves out of AJ versus Shinsuke. What I can see them doing for Cena is going to get, he still has one thing left, which is, can he beat Ric Flair's record as a 16-time World Champion? And I guess they could go that route.
And they've been trying to do that for a while.
I know. So that's one way you can sell WrestleMania, I guess. Not saying he's gonna win the title, but that's one way you would sell it. But for Raw, I can't. We know, because let's face it, like unless Roman Reigns popped on the wellness policy again, we know the main event is going to be Roman versus Brock. The question is, how do we get to that point? And if you need to sell out on one more pay-per-view before WrestleMania, you cannot let Roman Reigns win the Royal Rumble. Which is why I think he's going to be fighting The Miz at the Royal Rumble for the Intercontinental title. I know that is stopping from into a Royal Rumble before last year, but
wait a minute. Wait, as you just said, here's something to think about. And we need to move on because it's like 9:28.
Oh yeah, shit. I'm gonna say yeah.
Miz is going. Well, hey, since we are talking about Raw, it's been announced that Miz is coming back
next week. Yeah,
next week.
So
what? And the Miz has said that one of his main priorities that he wants to do is win back his Intercontinental.
That's why I said I could actually see that. So that's, well, we will see. But moving on, the scheduled match between Enzo Amore, basically the culmination of this whole build to this match, was supposed to happen this week. Didn't happen because Enzo Amore is legitimately sick.
Which a lot of people actually thought that he
It was
was
it was faking,
faking
but
it,
no,
but
he was
no.
obviously sick. He was sick enough to the point where he couldn't show up. So
Yeah, like he was at the hospital the night before, and
and
he
I don't. It was reported that he wanted to wrestle, but they wouldn't allow him to, which I understand why, because they had that whole the death of December month. I mean October, no, the death of October. That was their month where they was like, for fuck's sakes.
yeah, everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Right before a pay-per-view, the week of a pay-per-view, it was like heads were rolling in the headquarters of WWE that week. Like, it was ridiculous. But yeah, so they had to improvise. Drew Gulak and Var Davari came out. The second Alexander came out. Var Davari said, "Hey, you don't have a partner. Can we want to have a tag team match?" And then Goldust appears.
Yeah, so
Now, personally, I would say up front, I personally don't have an issue with this. The reason why is because it's why are people act like this is the first time we see something like this? Are we just gonna forget the whole Titus O'Neil story with Akira Tozawa?
yeah, but the
Are we gonna
different,
get the whole
but
Sasha Banks versus Brock thing? Like, this is not the
I mean,
first
yes,
time that a
you're
regular
right.
Raw superstar interacted with a cruiserweight. Like, this is not the first time.
You're right, but here's the difference. Here's the difference. Tyson O'Neil didn't wrestle
I
in the
know
cruiserweights. He was just a manager or trying to find recruits
for
to
Titus Worldwide.
yeah, Titus Worldwide. Sasha
And,
Banks was
and
there. But Sasha Banks is not really a worry because Sasha Banks is a
female.
woman. Yeah, is a female. She's a woman's wrestler.
So it would have mattered anyway. But and then you're right. But this is our first case where legitimately a non-cruiserweight wrestled in a cruiserweight match.
Also, I don't know if you saw this as we talk about reports. Apparently, Goldust at 205 Live might be an actual thing for a while.
Now, where did you see that at?
I gotta see if I can pull it up again. But apparently, I saw this report on Twitter. Let me look for my history. I saw it today.
Now, here's one way they could actually. Now, I would get into that theory if they actually do this, because the fan on Reddit is the most smartest guy ever. Did you see a Reddit post?
Uh-uh.
Okay, so
Let's stay away from Reddit for certain reasons.
so a guy on Reddit explained why Goldust beat a cruiserweight division is no issue, because gold is measured in troy pounds. How is this different to regular pounds? Is that there are 12 troy ounces to every troy pound, rather than the usual 16 ounces per pound found in the Avatarius system. With this logic, and knowing that Goldust is built at 232 pounds, in troy pounds, he's only billed at over 190. If they would actually use this excuse, I would completely buy that, just for how idiotic it is.
Let me tell you why that's bullshit. The fact of them actually coming up with that right there about why is he wrestling on 205 Live if he's not necessarily 205, and for him to come up with that for that, no. Uh-uh.
I'm just no. I mean, I would just give them credit for them actually ridiculously even coming up with that crap.
All
I
right,
just find
so
it hilarious.
I'm loading up the news now. It says it's in a question mark. It says, as seen on WWE television this week, Goldust wrestled a cruiserweight match Monday Night Raw, and then again on episode 205 Live. Dave Meltzer discussed Goldust's status on today's installment of the Wrestling Observer Radio and indicated that Goldust will be working 205 Live events moving forward. even though he doesn't meet the weight requirements, and clearly isn't a cruiserweight. The belief is, and this is probably something I was talking about earlier, the belief is that any established Raw talent working 205 Live has more chances of bringing in viewership and increased ticket sales than someone who only works 205 Live shows.
Which again, and that's why I don't personally have an issue with this, because it is sad. I know it's kind of like hypocritical of me. I said you're not giving the guys a chance, but let's be realistic. We never gave them a chance.
Yes, but like I said, now, like I said earlier, now it just kind of looks like a desperation move because our tickets ain't selling for the 205 Live shows. So let's add Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, and let's add Goldust.
Well, you see, I never had an issue with this kid. This was kind of how it was back in the day. Remember when the Cruiserweight division was on Smackdown? Just because they was in a Cruiserweight, they still interact with the rest of the roster. Like they weren't like they weren't exempt from interacting with people. Like Rey Mysterio was freaking tag team champion with RVD, even though he was in the Cruiserweight division.
I know you're right about that, but here's my thing though. There's a difference between the fact of you have the cruiserweights interacting with the. Oh, sorry, my chair just leaned back. The difference between having the cruiserweights interacting with the roster and having your own. Because 205 Live, the way I look at it, even though that's not the case, but the way I look at it, 205 Live is supposed to be their own brand of somewhat. And even you said it earlier too about how like how it's starting to look like WWE ECW.
Well, yes, but I don't want to look at them. I'm just the way they're booking it that's how they're presenting it to me.
Exactly,
because so it's like you purposely put in the same time slot.
So what I'm saying is, here's what I'm saying. When you do something like that, when you do that, okay, look how WECW was supposed to be. It was just a revival. I mean, suddenly ECW and WWE was actually supposed to be what NXT was in the beginning. It was a little bit of a developmental thing.
Yeah.
But they put the people on TV. That's why you saw people like Mordecai or what the fuck. Well, yeah, and everything like that. It was a development thing before they made NXT.
Zack Ryder.
Now,
yeah.
Now this is different, yes, but same time it's same time is the fact of you putting them you putting them on the spotlight by letting them have their own show. And now you just don't really have any faith for them because it's not that they ain't putting on a good show. People just not watching. So now you got put on.
I know because like if you actually watch 205 Live, they actually put on a solid show every single week. If you actually took time to watch I can tell you to watch any random episode of 205 Live, and I'm completely 100% honest, you can at least say it was a decent show. It's not bad. It's decent. The question is, do you actually care is the question. And that's really the only issue.
Another thing I see see them doing it for Hideo Itami, putting him on there.
Yeah. Well, he was going to be a cruiserweight anyway. He was already destined. Remember, they were promoting him as a cruiserweight to begin with. They had the promos leading up to his debut as a cruiserweight. They have to be fair, I don't think originally that was going to be the case, but due to his history of injury, they was like, we really can't put all of our chips with this guy. So we have to do something. But it's like, we know how talented he is. So he has to come up to the main roster eventually, but we just don't know. They don't want to put him in the position like basically, let's say Finn Balor, which as of this point, it was like, okay, you're good, but it's like we don't know what to do with you. So in Hideo Itami's case, it was like we had to put you into a 205 Live because it's like that's the spot where it's like if you get injured, okay, it might hit a blow, but it won't hit a bigger blast. Let's say he was competing for the Intercontinental Championship. I guess that's how they looked at it. So
yeah. Anyway, how many more Jones we got? Because this is about to be 10 o'clock.
Oh shit! Well,
and here's the thing. I want to talk about what's.
Okay, well, it was actually the very next segment too.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah. So before we talk about the match, backstage, Kurt Angle was backstage. Finn Balor shows up, and first off, Finn Balor declares himself in the Royal Rumble match, and then Kurt Angle says, "So did you find any partners for your 6-man tag team match that none of us knew up until this point? They even had
actually, they did announce that online.
Oh,
sometimes you gotta, if you have like Instagram, if you have like or like if you're a true, I think you're not true, but if you like
no, because I'm at work. That's why the issue is I always
that's true. And me, I was doing a night shift. I happened to catch it, before the movie started and everything. But if you happen to get like Instagram things, I turn my Instagram notifications off most of the time. But if you catch Instagram, if you see it on Facebook, if you follow them on YouTube, if you're just like that diehard person that eats, sleeps, lives, and shits WWE, you know some of the stuff that goes on. So they actually kind of announced this on their Instagram because they do a whole bunch of Instagram stories and stuff, and they announced that it was going to be a six-man match between the Miz Raj and I can't forget the third person right now.
Elias.
Yeah, Elias versus Finn Balor and two people of his choosing. Who will he pick? We'll find out tonight on Monday Night Raw. That right there was pretty much who I kind of knew right then and there who they were going to pick. Because
who else?
Yeah, because it was just the fact of how they said it. It's like,
because
who do
why
you think
even
they're gonna
pick?
I know
who like why even advertise it? It wouldn't matter, but they made sure it mattered because it was none other than Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, and everybody lost their shit.
For some reason, I kind of saw in my head. This is around the time where I just gotten home from the movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I happened to see this, and for some reason, I'm imagining you.
Say I was right. Yeah.
No, not saying how you was right. Because because you were right.
Because I was lobbying this for how many episodes?
You was right. You was right. You was right, but you was right a whole year later.
I know it took forever. Yeah, you're right. Literally a year later.
Because I never said it wasn't going to happen. I just said it wasn't going to happen sooner than you think, and that chose to be true because you you wanted this to happen sooner than later, and it's like I don't think so because I feel like they had plans. They had plans for Finn Balor that doesn't include
Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah, at the moment. So here you are now. You have this, and it's like you're like, huh?
Hey, I was right.
I mean, you were right. Just a whole year later.
I kept saying basically every podcast, like the first 20 episodes, well, like the first 10 or 15 episodes, I kept saying every week, the Balor Club's gonna happen. The Balor Club's gonna happen. It's gonna happen this week. It's probably gonna happen in this pay-per-view. Kept saying it, but it finally you should have saw Finn's face. It was like he couldn't not stop smiling. He was probably waiting for this moment too. Like It's about damn time because it was like y'all had this since the second the draft happened, y'all had this since day one. Y'all could have done this. Yes, before Finn Balor got injured, we didn't know of this yet. But I'm just saying, y'all had this since day one. Y'all could have easily used this. But now we could talk about the match, but the match itself wasn't necessarily important. It was just the reunion in general was the most important thing. Obviously, they won, but it was just the whole point was just them actually teaming together was the most important thing. Now,
and personally for me, I actually I felt that was pretty oh crap, I just read something. Damn, that
what?
sucks. No, I'll tell you off here.
All
There's
right,
enough of us related. Just
all right.
I'll tell you off here.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'll tell you off here. But anyway, it's good because Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows needs this.
Yeah, they deserved it.
They haven't won a match. I think. Well, one, they haven't been on TV. The last time they were on TV, they lost. But they haven't been on TV for like a month almost.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people was wondering like, what's going on with
The
Luke Gallows
glove.
and Carl Anderson? Like, remember, like the last time they were on TV, I think they lost to.
He's Slater and Rhino. and then
That's how long ago it was.
yeah, the Halloween thing. What a
You're
time.
right. You're right. The little Halloween.
That was
Yeah.
legit the last time they were on TV.
So it's been 2 months. Because November we haven't seen him in December. Wow.
Yep. It was a sad time.
So I
So
feel like that this is something that um
they needed it.
they needed. Yeah. And you see how happy everybody was. It's like Finn Balor gets to work with his friends. And
And
Luke Gallows and Corey Anderson is actually going to be on TV
and now
after
those
2 months.
Balor Club shirts actually mean something. For like
And you're going to get a win.
I know for the first time in like 3 years, the Balor Club shirts actually has some meaning to it now.
Well, to be fair, the Balor Club was being used as
His gimmick, yeah,
the
in
the, the, fa-
NXT.
the fans are part of the Balor Club.
Yeah, bullshit. But I'm just saying.
I'm
But
saying that's
yeah,
how we're using it. The fans are part of the Balor Club, not just.
sure. But no, but
Yeah,
I hate to
trying
be
to
now
get
before you get to main roster, I just want to call this right now, as I've been calling the Balor Club forever. I want to call this right now. Let's not let this whole Balor Club reunion not distract you from the fact that this was solely made, and mark my words, this is going to happen. The sole purpose of this group is to build them up to be Roman Reigns' next opponent. That's all this is for. Okay, the second he wins his Universal title, Brock Lesnar is gone. So they're gonna need a newly heel person to fight.
they already kind of did say. I mean that the Balor Club will still go on. Number one, but number two, also, I feel like they did. I don't. I feel like this is going to be heel Finn Balor coming up because remember,
Yeah, of
this
course.
is
That's my
what
point. This is gonna be a heel. Yeah.
this is WrestleMania coming up, and you know how I usually say when WrestleMania comes up, they
Usually go all out.
yeah, not usually go out. The reset of storylines, you might say.
Mm-hmm.
So
And you're right. I can see why. I can
so
see a day after WrestleMania, Finn Balor officially turns heel.
now I don't now we also haven't heard anything that maybe they might have another draft. I didn't hear anything about that.
He's not going to SmackDown.
No,
They're
no, no.
gonna use the
I don't think he's going to SmackDown either. No.
yeah. That would be the most stupidest thing because I guarantee
But
you, I'm not gonna lie, SmackDown are gonna have the higher ratings then.
no, but no. As you say that, I feel like
I can see
um
like Seth Rollins going to SmackDown. I can see that.
No, you want to know who I think is going to SmackDown
Oh.
when he comes back? Jeff Hardy.
Oh, of course. Because what can Jeff Hardy do now? To be honest with you, this was their original plan from the beginning. Not putting him on SmackDown, just Jeff Hardy as a singles competitor because they know they can market him as a singles competitor. The issue was
Yeah.
getting Matt as a singles competitor, which they finally did. So
Yes, which Matt Hardy can show that he can now
exactly.
he can
So they're
hold
gonna
his
I know. So
own.
they're gonna use Matt Hardy as on Raw, and they're gonna use. Of course, I know, and that's gonna boost up SmackDown with Jeff Hardy. Remember when Jeff Hardy's run previously, SmackDown was fine. So
Yeah.
so that one, yeah, of course that's there. And imagine Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles, because you thinking they're gonna get AJ Styles off of SmackDown. What's gonna happen?
But no, like we oh crap, I'm sorry, I had to crack my shoulder. But yeah, so what you come is we now have the Bottle Club there. There's one into next week. What's the next, John?
The main segment, which to be honest with you, kind of fell flat on his face.
Oh,
Was the
the
whole
Brock
Brock
Lesnar
Lesnar
come
It didn't make any
thing.
sense. The only
No,
interesting part
no,
was when
no,
he sat up.
no. You want to know what happened? How I look at it?
What?
It just means that that Brock Lesnar still has the Undertaker's powers.
Yeah, I know. Because he sat up, just like I know. None of this made any sense. All this shows is that again, Kane is eating. Let's put this in perspective. They advertised for a whole week Brock Lesnar's appearing on the first day of New Year's Eve just for a lackluster segment like this. He could have stayed home. He could have just let Paul Heyman talk. It would have been the same effect.
Yeah, but he has to show that I still have Undertaker's powers.
This was
I can
ridiculous.
still sit up just like.
It was stupid.
Which let me get your opinion before that is. I feel like we should go break it. I got pissed.
Yeah.
But let me get your opinion on this. There are some people who are actually pretty pissed off of seeing Brock Lesnar do the sit up because some people, the legit diehard Taker and Kane fans.
I didn't see it as a mock to Taker. I saw it as a mock to Kane. Yes, I know conveniently Undertaker does that too, but I think he was more mocking Kane than I don't think because again, I think
But I'm gonna
think
think,
they
I'm gonna
do
think, you being a Taker fan, what did you think about it?
Oh no, I thought it was pretty funny because I saw the second Kane laid him out the choke slam and the way Brock Lesnar was like laying down, I knew that was gonna happen the second, so I was expecting it to. But I feel like this was more of a mock towards Kane. You see, and the reason why I say that because they themselves kind of confirmed it. I'm reading off their website. It says planning Lesnar with a thunderous choke slam that seemingly put him down until Lesnar sat bolt upright, a la the Big Red Machine himself. So again, I feel like their goal was just him mocking Kane and even I don't think their intention was to say Undertaker, but obviously fans look like it from a different. I'm not saying I agree with that. We were trying to back him or anything. I'm just saying I personally think that their intention was for them to mock Kane. I don't think thinking about Undertaker. Oh yeah, Undertaker used to do this. I don't think that was their intention at all. So
Okay, because a lot of people, a lot of people was going off saying that this is disrespectful to the Undertaker. Blah, blah,
I don't
blah,
think it
blah.
was. Because I never thought of it like I legit never literally looked at it like that. All I saw that was like, oh, he's mocking Kane. Let's be
I
real.
mean, and you're right. It
Let's
just
be real. For
that's how
weeks,
some people.
Kane's been doing that. I know Undertaker that was Undertaker's thing, but it was like for weeks Kane has been doing that. So I think that was their point.
Yeah, but you know how some people like to
Mm-hmm.
over exaggerate certain things.
Yeah, right. So that's how I looked at it. All right, you said you wanted to take a break real quick.
Yeah, I gotta go to the
Yeah, no problem.
bathroom.
They would try to real quickly breeze through SmackDown and Raw. I mean SmackDown and the rest of the stuff. Okay, nothing happened on NXT, but it's just one thing I would do want to bring up with NXT though.
All right, go ahead.
No, I'll say when you come back.
Oh, you want to wait till you come back? Yeah,
Yeah.
because I feel like how about this? How about this? Let's read through SmackDown, and everything, and then we can talk Wrestling Kingdom because I feel like Wrestling Kingdom
Oh
is
yeah, I know
is
there
the
is
main
something.
thing to talk about
Yeah, of course, yeah. So let's. So we do it after the break or before the break.
after the break because I gotta
All
go.
right, all right, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
All right, all right. Let
All right,
me.
guys, we'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. I'm just waiting for Ron. I was to get something to drink, and I was just watching something downstairs with my mom and my brother. So
I'm here. I've
I,
actually been back,
ah,
waiting, really watching this tournament.
so what
I guess
happened so far?
I'll say it to you. What I was talking about earlier. The Walmart near me up in Shuttingham, the pipes bust because of how freaking cold it has been.
Why did I say they had to buy store today?
The whole pipes bust.
Oh well, no. Oh well, no. Mine's froze.
Yeah, it froze. No, their pipes bust.
Holy shit! So what happened?
So yeah, and as it sucks, I'm like, I was supposed to make a Walmart run tomorrow. I had to pick up something. I'm like, I don't know if they're going to be open tomorrow. I'm like, crap.
Was that
We just
Walmart
probably find.
24 hours?
Nah, no, Walmart's not 24 hours up here. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? That might be a good thing. I don't go because that means I just go straight the hell home after work. I'm really trying to be out all day. Tomorrow is supposed to be the
Cold.
last.
This was like -1 degrees though.
Well, it's not supposed to be as. It's not going to be as bad as it has been the past 2 days, but it's still going to be cold. But it's also going to be. It's also going to be the last day we have this cold snap because the next couple of days is supposed to be warmer. Like Monday is supposed to be 30s, even though it's going to rain. It's supposed to be in the 30s on Monday. By Friday, it's going to be up in the 50s and rain. So it's going to actually wash some of this out. So it won't be as cold as it's been. It'll be, good winter temperatures and not Arctic air. Like what's bad when Australia has a heat wave right now. Australia has a place where everything and anything can kill you.
Yep.
Okay, and I would rather be there than be here right now.
Then here, I know you could. No, yo, did you see that video of how it's so cold that people be getting robbed out here with water?
Yeah, with water, I believe that.
It's true though. He was like, "Yo, man, chill." He threw it on. He gave him his shoes and everything.
I believe that
because it's so goddamn cold.
Actually, you want to know how cold it is?
Oh, how cold is it?
We're actually colder than Iceland, Damn. and Alaska.
That's ridiculous. And then they're cold 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, the thing's called Iceland for a reason. But they're in the 40s.
Alaska.
But they're in the 40s right now.
Oh my god.
We're in the negatives.
Ridiculous. First of all, who can live in Alaska anyway?
Sarah Palin.
I guess, but it's like Jesus.
I couldn't live there. I couldn't live there because
death sentence.
I couldn't live there because the whole thing of night being 24 hours pretty much.
How would Amazon work like that?
It works because people do live there, but apparently, I mean, I might be wrong, but I'm not wrong about this. I do know that they do have nights practically all day. So like there's like one particular thing from where it's night all the time, and it's like I don't think I can do that. Like it would be 9 o'clock in the morning, but it's still dark. What kind of shit? So yeah, that happens. But yeah, tomorrow's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be as cold as past 2 days, but it's still going to be effing cold.
Exactly.
But it's going to be the last day.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. It's just hope. I really do hope though that it's not cold anymore.
Yeah, I really hope we don't get any of this anymore at all. Pretty much, I don't need winter anymore. I hate winter.
But yeah, Smackdown. So Smackdown, yeah, we're gonna quickly run through every segment, and then I was gonna give your quick thoughts and move on next one.
All right.
Opening segment. AJ Styles came out talking about how again the issue was with Save Man and Daniel Bryan led to him losing his match against Kevin Owens last week. Daniel Bryan came out trying to explain himself. The Shea came out because a different agenda saying, why are you even bothering with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? It seemed like Is the yes movement turned into the yet movement? Didn't matter because Shabiel say he knows Kevin Owens gonna be at ringside tonight. So because of that, he's gonna be at ringside. Daniel Bryan said, how about we just all be at ringside? Because Daniel Bryan decided to be at ringside as well for the main event. Any
Yeah.
thoughts?
Once again, this is. I feel like the storytelling is getting deeper and deeper.
Yeah, this is
Once,
really an interesting story because you don't know what side to choose from.
yeah, because like I said, it's one of those things where it's like, once again, who's the bad guy here?
I don't.
Oh, right now, and between the end of the episode,
It's obviously Daniel Bryan.
for right now,
Yeah,
but
which is true.
but next week it could be something else. You know, it's like this is actually pretty interesting. I want to see how this is going to play out.
Although I do have a theory, and my brother didn't believe me, but I told me just to hear me out on it. But yeah. But moving on, we had Smackdown tag team title match between the Usos and Benjamin Gable. I thought it was fine. The ending.
No, I like the ending. Once again, this is storytelling. It's not necessarily
Yeah.
because I didn't notice it. You know, it's like it's one of those things of having twins in your match. It's like
Yeah.
you don't know and everything like that. Now I do like I mean, it sucks if you was rooting for Benjamin and
Gable.
Shelton. I mean, yeah, Benjamin and Shelton, Benjamin and Gable, but it was also pretty cool if you're rooting for the Usos. That match was pretty good, and I like how it escalated to the fact of, wait, I was the legal man. I'm the one who's person in there, and then went back to the replays, which is something I
Yep.
feel like they need to do a lot more. But you know, you can't expect that all the
I
time.
know. But I thought it was brilliant. But it was like, did we really? I would have actually, you know what? It would have gave more heat to Benjamin Gable if they would decide just to reverse the decision, and then the Usos just retained the title, and then they would attack the Usos afterwards. That would have gave more heat to the
True.
Uso, but instead they just made them lose. They could have just made it reverse the decision. Now I would have preferred. That's just personally me because then okay, now they show Benjamin Gable have a legitimate rematch because they didn't know it was the right Uso. So that's just personally the way I would have done it. But I did like it. I just felt like the second match wasn't necessary. But then we had the Bludgeon Brother versus Breezango. It looked like it was going to be another squash match, but the Ascension made the save again. But this time, the Bludgeon Brothers caught them this time, and they both did their finishers on them. Then backstage, now we'll find out next week, I guess, how this all plays out because now this time, Breezango told them that thanks for helping us out, but now you're going to be facing Bloods Brothers next week. And it seemed like, based on their facial reactions, they weren't too like irritated about it.
Really?
So that makes me believe, and it sounds so stupid, but it's like I think the Ascension attacked Breezango.
Yeah, some people have been saying that, but
I don't know where this story is going. It's going somewhere. Don't know where, but somewhere. Xavier Woods versus Aiden English, which first off, did you know has unrelated to this? Did you see that Twitter video that Xavier Wood put out?
Xavier Woods has been
Is like
doing so much. It's actually funny as hell.
it was hilarious. When the Jinder Mahal the Indian video, that cracked me up.
Yeah,
He was like the footage that Jinder Mahal and Singh brothers don't want you to see.
yeah, like it's funny.
that was hilarious. But what you call it? Oh, completely unrelated, but the Lupin versus Pata Ranger previews out.
Also,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to go too far, but one thing I do like about Xavier Woods, did you also catch the thing of so after the match, and Xavier wins. Which, by the way, another thing a lot of people was giving Xavier Woods flack because he used Chris Alexander's lumbar check.
Mm-hmm.
And if you looked on Twitter, if you look on Xavier Woods' Twitter, you see Xavier Woods and Chris Alexander, or Cedric Alexander. I'm sorry, Chris Alexander is actually a friend of mine. But you see them together, and Cedric's like, "I gave him permission."
Ah,
Like, hey, black people. They didn't say that, but that's what it
I
looked
know.
like. But he pretty much was like, "Don't worry, guys. I gave him permission to use the move."
So that
So
was a fine exchange, but yet again, it's under the expense of Rusev and Aiden English, which is like
yeah,
hottest.
they'll get their day. They'll
I'm just saying,
they'll get
every week it's been proven this guy is clearly, again, dare I say, reaching Daniel Bryan levels right now for
they
some
will
reason.
they will get their day, and then we will celebrate Rusev Day
Every
every
day,
day.
yeah, it should be, but
So it's
yeah,
that
but
we Rusev Day doesn't always
I
happen
think I think
easily.
they're purposely trying to bury it,
Nah,
but it's not working.
you can't bury something that's selling because Rusev Day shirts are selling. I'm
I know
actually
that.
thinking
I
about
know.
buying one. So
I would if I had the money, but I buy other things. But yeah, no, you're right. I would. I would buy one too. But yeah, then you had the Riot Squad. Oh well, for starters, Xavier will be facing Jinder Mahal, but next week is Zack Ryder versus Mojo Rawley. Again, unless the obvious plan changed, it's going to be Byru versus Jinder Mahal at the Royal Rumble. Unless for some godforsaken reason they decided, hey, why not Xavier Woods and Mojo Rawley? Just because. And then Xavier Woods winning on a New Day every United States champion. Because why not? New Day can literally do anything with anything and it works. So
no, I mean the fans keep going next week, so I would say we will see about that.
yeah.
And everything.
So we have the Riot Squad versus Natalia, Carmella, and Tamina. How jarring must have been for Carmella to see Liz Morgan. They have a lot in common now. They both broke up with their boyfriends.
Just kick a person right there down, huh?
I'm just saying. That was unexpected when I read that. I was like,
I
huh,
mean,
but what is this? I
yeah,
mean, it's not
that
100%
kind of
confirmed, but it's
no.
like
I think it's confirmed.
it's
I feel
yeah.
like that like they said, the fact that he put the effort into putting putting what you come in there, like all the
Bios
pictures and everything,
just to
is taking
delete
it
them
off. It's like yeah,
makes no sense. Yeah.
and the fact that she took the time to just sit there. But my question about that: who actually noticed that first?
Well, that's another point. It's like, yes, we have a crazy fan base. The fact that someone literally was on Carmella's page one day, I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt, but that person's probably on Carmella's
That would
page
have to be
every
what it
day.
was. That would have to be
Every
what it
day.
was. Because
Yeah.
when you sit there, when your source is the reason why they're not on there is because
Because
she's
yeah, I know
deleting
there's
all
no,
the pictures. It's
but
like,
how the hell would they know that?
yeah, it's like, how would you know that Carmela
How
deleted
would
all
you
the
know
pictures
that?
of her Twitter unless you've been stalking her on her Twitter all damn day? Like,
So that's why, yeah, it's like, okay, sure. It's like, I know it makes us more like weirdos than
really, comeback.
anything. But yeah, hey, why not? The Riot Squad defeated Natalia, Carmella, and Tamina. But the real story here is afterwards, as Becky Lynch finally returned.
From her injury.
And by the way, which I don't understand this, they all announced themselves a part of the Women's Royal Rumble, which, to be fair, it's not like you women had a choice.
Hey,
I don't want to. I don't want to
don't
sound.
say
I don't want to
don't
put it
say like
like that.
that.
But like, let's be real here. Did y'all really have a choice?
Listen, it's the same as that thing I said last year. It's the same as that thing I said last year. to say that I'm entering the Royal Rumble, it's kind of like it's kind of like putting your dominance down. Because if you notice people who says I'm officially entering into the Royal Rumble, those are the people who actually do well in the Royal Rumble. They last
Yes.
longer, or or they do something or they eliminate more.
No, but the thing is, the Joe Gary is that all the women are saying it, but it's like, but there's 30. It's a 30-person Royal Rumble. You obviously you have to be a part of it.
But
We
yeah, I mean,
barely
yeah,
have 20.
I
Because
see what you're
we
saying.
have 20.
I see what you're saying, but my whole thing is that I feel like I said, for any superstar to sit there and say, "I'm entering in the Royal Rumble," is showing their dominant. Like that, I'm gonna dominate. I'm gonna be one of the people that's gonna dominate and everything like that. Now, seeing what you're saying is like, well, you're saying it doesn't really make a difference. Like, it does. You might not see it now, but it does. It also might also seem the fact of saying, okay, the main people that we know, as far as the main wrestlers that we've seen every week, are probably going to do something. Meanwhile, the extras, they're going to be the ones that probably not care about. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and you're right when you put it like that. But
that's just me thinking.
Yeah, so main event time, Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles, good match. Again, bunch of storytelling here. So, and again, this move made Shane look like a dick because Kevin Owens, yes, we don't know it was on purpose or not, was worried about the referee's leg. But he distracted Styles from getting the pin. By distracting the referee, which he was just trying to check on his leg. Because in all fairness, Kevin Owens didn't do anything wrong. No, but this led to Shane pushing him on the ground. And then he
yeah.
No, go ahead.
And then he told him he had to leave.
And then damn Brian said, yeah. Now, okay, if Kevin Owens leaving, you might as well go with him.
Yeah, because you got caught putting your hands on him.
Okay, he started. I know Kevin Owens never touched Shane McMahon. So it's like, yeah, all that distracted led to Sami Zayn hit a Louis kick on the AJ Styles, so he got the pin. Then AJ Styles got frustrated. He said, I'm sick of all of this. You know what? Since obviously you two are always going to be working together, let me just have them a handicap match, which sounds reasonable. But then Daniel Bryan, I guess, semi-turned heel at this point and said, that's a great idea because after Royal Rumble, you'll be defending your title against both Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And it's not a triple threat match. It's a handicap match. Yeah. So basically, either Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn.
The heel this week was, I guess,
Daniel Bryan.
Was Daniel Bryan. So what's going to happen next week?
Although I have a theory, though.
Also, I'd like to point out something that Ross on wrestling can't say King Ross anymore because he's not King Ross, but something that he said. Don't you think that the general manager would have, I don't know, don't you think Shane McMahon should have been like, no, that's not going to happen? Because
I know it's like Shane McMahon has no power.
Yeah.
No, but I feel like I guess if you want to really like dive deep into the story, him disagreeing with this will show the biasness of Shane because he obviously looked like Shane has to be impartial. Because out of all Dan Bryan's decision, why are you stopping this one? Just because it's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. You see, I think if they were to explain it like that next week, it'll be like, okay, it makes sense why Shane McMahon didn't stop it. Because then it'll just obviously show your favorite, like your issues with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. You're not being unbiased. Like if they were to do it like that, if they were to explain it like that, then I can believe this. I know, but yeah, logically, why is it Shane stopping it? But if they were to explain it like that, believe this. But yeah, though. But I have a theory. I think Daniel Bryan's not doing a heel move. This is his way to officially end this whole thing. Realistic here. Kevin Owens finally has a shot at the WWE title. You think he's gonna let fucking Sami Zayn get that pin?
Huh?
Hey,
That's actually
that's my point. You think he's
that's
gonna let that guy get the pin? He's gonna let Sami Zayn do all the work, and he's just gonna steal it from him. And then that will open up Sami Zayn's eyes.
yeah, but
I'm
I
not
feel like
saying
that
I'm not saying this is Brian's plan, but
he's already way too deep into with Sami Zayn's already way too deep into being heel. So
I know that's my dad. That's my point. I think he's gonna turn face for Kevin because obviously Kevin Owens would never turn face. He's like a deplorable human being at this point. All the stuff he's done, his track record is already like he can't. No, there's no redemption for him anymore. He's like one of those heels where it's like he can't turn face because all the stuff he has done. He tried to injure his quote unquote best friend multiple times. He was with the authority, chairman of the UE. He fought his old boss, like the face boss, mind you. You can't turn this guy face. That's that. I'm just saying. So I think that's what they're doing. But moving on, I just to quickly glance at 205 Live. The one thing worth mentioning, because again, due to the fact that Edge was injured, it was kind of like a rehash of what happened. TJP is back, first off, though. He is
that's
back.
actually pretty good.
So, which I think the main reason why, because I feel like they're losing fucking people left and right. The whole wrist swat incident. Neville is still in limbo.
No, he's not coming back. I don't think
As
he's coming back.
here's my thing. As far as I'm concerned, he is still part of the 205 Live roster because it's not like WWE does update their website. The
You're right.
secondary,
You're
that's
right.
what, and that's why, and that's the way I know when people tell me that, but it's like the way I look at it. Go on because every day I look at this website, they have no problem updating it. The second did what he did, they switched that whole 205 Live banner to feature Enzo Amore.
But
Just to replace Rich Swan.
But here's what I think. Here's what I think. They like to hold out on a lot of things. They're like the Ets who doesn't who doesn't necessarily believe that they're the Ets. That they're just holding on, saying that there's still a chance. There's still a chance. Maybe if I call them, there's still a chance. That kind of thing.
Okay. No, you are right, but it's like that's what I'm saying. As far as I'm concerned, he is still under contract with WWE. So
yeah, he is. But but they're trying to talk to him, but it's so far.
I think, yeah, we'll see what happens. Because again, if he and I've gone, this is my only point I'm going to bring up. If they allow, I see where WWE's trying. I feel like this is a position that they're in. Let's just pretend like this is what Neville wants. I'm not saying this is what he wants because I don't know. I don't truly understand what went wrong with Neville. If they allow him to go to Smackdown Live, did it. Where if you threaten to walk out, you get what you want, and I don't think WWE wants that.
Oh no, they don't want that because they don't want that. But at the same time, listen.
And that's why I feel like that's their position. It's like if we give in to this man, that's gonna set a precedent for every other cruiserweight to do the exact same thing. We're not even gonna have a damn cruiserweight show. I'm not saying the cruise that you see now that would be implied that the cruiserweight division is the bottom of the barrel, which that's a debate for another time. But what my point is, if they allow Neville to move from the cruiserweight division to SmackDown, that's gonna set a precedent. Because who's to say TJP won't walk out or Hideo? You best believe Hideo will be the next one.
Yeah, you're right, but at the same time,
I feel like that's their issue, and I think that's what they're trying to tell Neville. Come on, man, like, bro.
But at the same time, it's the same as that thing with Austin Aries and everything. It's not necessarily it's not necessarily trying to get in your way. It's just the fact of I've been loyal to y'all for the longest time. And if you're not, some people are saying, "Oh, what you come acting like a brat because you had to lose to Enzo," and then you get to sit to yourself like, "Yeah, I'm better than Enzo in wrestling. I was the face of the cruiser, and the fans that he was the face of cruiserweights. That he didn't mind losing it to other cruiserweights, but he's losing to someone who's like
not even like what defines that division. He is everything the opposite of.
Yeah,
that's what Enzo is. That's literally what Enzo is. He has the only similarity that he is under 205 live. Congratulations. I mean 205. That's it. Otherwise, he's the complete opposite of everything that division once stood for when Neville was there.
And some people, and there were some reports that some people did say that some people did not agree at the fact of putting Enzo on 205 live. Now, granted, the fact, yes, fans have gotten better from when it started, but he had no friends there.
I know, but it's like, and again, it didn't help matters when Enzo, the second he won the title, he already main evented the show. Raw. Main event of Raw. The next night. So it's like, I don't doubt. And so I could understand that when I was spinning the face to him because it's like, yo, I held this title for 9 months, carrying this division. And this is how I'm treated. So I get it, but it's like, I think they're trying to. I'm telling you, it's gonna set a. It's like they don't. I know deep down they don't want to lose Neville because they know how well they booked that character. That was the 205 live, and the second he leaves, it is gonna hit. It is gonna hit them hard. And he's gonna go somewhere else. But it's like they don't. If they let him go to SmackDown, it's gonna set. I'm telling you, because who to say Hideo will do? What's stopping Hideo from doing the same exact thing?
Well,
that's like know. That. Hideo really has nothing to lose at this point. So what's stopping him? All that's going to really do is hurt the cruiserweight division.
Yeah.
He can always go back to Japan. That's the point. It's like it's going to set a precedent that they don't want to happen. But yeah, just NXT, there's literally nothing to talk about because all it was a recap show. There's one significance of this show that I do want to bring up is that they did announce TM61 is coming back. If they were Ron, or do you
say it one more time?
TM61.
Yeah, I know who they are.
Well, they're coming back. So.
Yeah, I know they're coming back. Which where the hell have they been at?
They were one half of the team was injured, so obviously they couldn't do anything with the other half. So they decided just to leave off TV for literally over a year. But the other significant thing is that in 2 weeks' time, the Undisputed Era will defend their NXT Tag Team titles against Sanity in a rematch. Mm-hmm. Now, spoilers here. The NXT tapings took place this week. And I'm not going to really get into what happened, but based on what I read, all I can say, if based...
Why are you on the chat for me?
Okay. Well, the one thing I will bring up, though, because we themselves publicly showed it on their YouTube page, which I will say.
I missed it.
Because I will say this, though. I feel like Nikki Cross will be staying in NXT for a while. I say Nikki Cross.
Okay, just type on the thing.
Okay, hold on, give me 1 second.
See, the difference between me and other people is that I don't spoilers don't really do nothing for me, especially since I'm not usually home or for NSC anyway, so I usually have to read the stuff anyway. So as he's actually telling me about what's about to happen, it's I'm not going to say it, because other people do want to watch it. You're probably just going to see my face.
Like, almost done.
As we just
There you go.
okay. Hmm. Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, you might as well just finish it. Now I want to know.
Oh, all right. So,
By the way, they also announced, and something I can't wait, but they also announced that an NXT takeover that is going to be Aleister Black versus
Adam Cole,
Adam Cole. I'm going to NXT. I can't wait to see that
and it's
match.
an Extreme Rules match.
Oh yeah, it is a Extreme Rules match. I don't think it needs to be Extreme Rules. I just mean that people just want to
But why
interfere.
not? Because it's Philadelphia. That's why. So they're saying why not?
Stop falling for the Philadelphia. I mean, I understand Philadelphia, ECW, let it die, let it like just let it. Not everything has to be. That's just like, do you think that Chicago gets sick and tired of them having Chicago street matches, street fight matches? Like Philadelphia is
No.
known for other.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is known for other things, but I'm just saying, like, do you think Philadelphia? I mean, do you think Chicago gets sick and tired of hearing, "Oh man, I can't believe you don't have another Chicago street fight match"? Like it is Philadelphia. Oh, we're going to have extreme rules. That means tables are going to be on the thing, and we're going to have, um, you know, effing kendo sticks. Uh, to me, it gets the whole ECW thing gets old, in my opinion. That's just me. And I was one of the first people who watched ECW. I went to ECW shows.
There's the other half.
Hey, hold on. I was just watching something. Mm,
That first sentence is the match that's happening at Philadelphia.
okay. Hmm. Interesting. Okay then.
Which in hindsight, I guess because since they won the titles as those two, why not?
Or and I'm sorry we're doing this secret coding thing.
I know, I just don't want to spoil it. But only thing I will say, because WWE themselves basically acknowledged it, Nikki Cross isn't going anywhere. Because I don't know if you looked at it, they released like the highlights from that show, and they showed the basically like summarizing the women's division in 2018.
I just
They
I just
showed
put my I just
Billy
put
Kay.
my thing.
Okay. Well, okay, you're right.
Since she said
Huh.
that,
Oh no, I could definitely no, I could definitely see that because it was obvious because they need women for the Royal Rumble anyway, so I could see that. But um, what you call it? Because there's a video they released 2 videos showcasing the tag team division in NXT and the women's division 2018 for 2018. For the women's division, they showcased Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, Casey Evans, Bianca Belair, Shayna Blazer, Ember Moon, Nikki Cross, and I know I'm forgetting one more. Oh, and Kairi Sane. Those are the people that they showcased. For the tag team division, they showcased the Street Profits, the Undisputed Era, specifically Cole and O'Reilly. I mean, no, O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Richard Moss and Tito Santana, Heavy Machinery, and TM61. There were 2 teams left out of that. And one of them, based on the tapings, it seems like because they're not going to be in NXT for long. Or at least most of them are not going to be in NXT for long.
well, yeah, I mean,
because here's my thing.
Like I said, it's one. I mean, I feel like that, you know, for what you just told me.
I feel like what they're doing is the same thing they did with Enzo and Cass, where they took Enzo and Cass, but they kept Carmella for a little bit longer just to see what they could do with her. And I think the same thing is going to happen with this group, where Nikki Cross is just going to stay for a little bit longer. I guess they could establish her as someone else. Because I think, now, I'm not saying it's different. I don't think on the main roster they're going to allow what Nikki Cross does in NXT that she could do on the main roster. So I think they're going to establish her as a completely separate character from the group. So that's where I see this is going.
Well,
we'll see. We will see. But based on the tapings, it seems obvious that at least one of those 2 teams are going up sooner rather than later. Probably before. I can see it happening right after the Royal Rumble, but let's talk about Wrestle Kingdom.
Yes, let's talk about Wrestle Kingdom. Let's talk about arguably.
Now, mind you, I only seen highlight videos, so
once again, and I braved. I watched.
Oh, because I had to work the next day. There's no way I could have.
Dude, it's to experience Wrestle Kingdom. Let me explain to most people about Wrestle Kingdom. Wrestle Kingdom is pretty much what if WWE has WrestleMania, Wrestle Kingdom is their WrestleMania. They do it big for Wrestle Kingdom. The thing is, in New Japan, it's the time difference between here and, you know, America and stuff. It's actually pretty funny because Matthew from Botchamania made the joke and I laughed about it, about the fact of all this time from where he always tries to watch WWE shows and WWE pay-per-views, that it always comes on when it's technically midnight, 3 a.m. So like midnight to 3 a.m. over there. So when a pay-per-view starts 7 o'clock or whatever here, or 8 o'clock here, it's 12 o'clock over there, and it ends at 3. Most people are tired, you know, because it's like I just stayed up the whole night watching this pay-per-view and everything over there in the UK. This time, the UK actually started like around 7 a.m., 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever.
Yeah.
They were fine. We over here had to struggle. It didn't start over here till 2 in the morning.
It's like, what the?
Lucky for me, I took a nap. I took a nap. I ended up going back to sleep.
It was the same thing for the Beast of the East when they first did that.
Yeah,
where I had to take a nap.
But I ended up going to sleep. and then I woke up later for the last two matches, which is the matches that I did want to sleep. But I did watch the whole thing. Anyway, doing replays. So let's talk about Wrestle Kingdom. Number one, um, the New Japan Rumble. They did have that. Was actually an emotional one because, and I'm going to apologize now. I have a speech impediment. Number one.
Oh, me
Number
as
two,
well.
but number two, which says speech impediment, it's really hard to pronounce certain Japanese names. So, with that said, I'm probably going to pronounce a lot of people's names wrong, and I apologize right now if I'm trying to say somebody's name wrong and I don't get it right because of my speech impediment. Okay, so we had the New Japan Rumble, which is pretty much their pre-show, just to get people hyped up. The winner of that was and I'm looking at the name, Kakihara, Kakihara, as I'm saying it right now, I'm doing it wrong. Kakihara Masahito. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because he was one of the last people to come in, but he's 45 years old. But he had to, and being 45 years old and wrestling doesn't really mean nothing because, hey, Joseph Liger's like in his effing 50s, he still wrestle. But the thing with him is he's a cancer survivor. He had gotten cancer real early. I won't say early in his career, but he had gotten cancer and it kind of forced him to retire a little early. But he came back for this Rumble and he won. Didn't do anything majorly big, but he survived cancer and stuff, and he pretty much says I kicked cancer's ass after he won when he gave a speech and stuff. So he was the winner of the big New Japan Rumble. Now we have the main cards. You have the first match was Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, versus Wampong G 3K. I mean, with Rocky Romero. I did not know Rocky Romero doesn't wrestle anymore, or for the time being or anything. I don't think he's wrestling anymore, and that's actually pretty interesting. Because he was the Black Tiger Master Fourth, whatever, whatnot. But I think he's done wrestling. I think he's actually managing now. I'm not 100% sure on that, but as of late, as I'm looking up now, yeah, he's now doing the role as manager. And it's funny because he was a wrestler not so long ago. Like for like a couple of years ago, he was a wrestler. But he's now a manager, which is like, oh, okay, that's something I didn't know. And I also saw him doing like a highlight thing for New Japan Pro Wrestling's English site. He was like talking about the matches coming up. But anyway, that match is pretty good. You will talk about storytelling. I think it was Joe and Matt Jackson both had to play kayfabe back injuries the whole time, and there was one part in the match where they put each other into submissions and submission, and Matt Jackson was about to tap, but Nick stopped him. And everything, but and stuff like that. But yeah, the back injuries, kayfabe, played a role and everything. But once again, for the seventh time in a row, for the seventh time, the Young Bucks are now the IWPG Junior Heavyweight
Yes, I know. So they're
champions
not going
7 times.
anywhere.
Oh yeah, they're never gonna go anywhere. But yeah,
They're gonna be there forever, yo.
Well, yeah, I mean, they get just as good money as anybody in WWE does. There's a lot of people don't seem to understand.
No, but it's like Jesus.
Like a lot of people don't seem to understand that WWE is not the end all be all.
Oh, and yeah, trust me, I'm aware, but it's like
you can make just as much money. And here's another thing: the one good thing about them is the fact that they make money with just the T-shirt sales and everything like
I
that.
know, yeah,
They actually get
those
paid. They actually get
T-shirt sales.
more money than they do in WWE, where you have to do everything from WWE.com, and they just get like 5%, 10% of the share, whatever. So here we are now, the third match, which was a gauntlet match for the Never Open Weight Six-Man Championship, and that was, and the one thing I will say about New Japan, they do have their stables. Because a lot of people say the one thing is wrong with
yeah, but they
WWE
have
is
a
that they
lot of
have
stables.
stables. Yes, they have a lot of stables. So you have Chaos, which consists of Beretta, Tamahiro Ishii, and Toniyanu, who won the match, who are now the new champions. They defeated Bullet Club's Battlefield, Tamatanga, and Tangaloa, also known as Haku's sons.
Mm-hmm.
They also defeated who I'm surprised that they. I was kind of surprised that they actually had them still had them hired. Michael England or Michael Elgin. I don't know if you heard the story about Michael Elgin and how he had somebody in his wrestling school who was sexually harassed somebody and anything. And the only thing Michael Elgin did, he just sold his company and completely went off Twitter. I'm like, yeah, it seems like you're kind of running away here. But he was also tagged with War Machine, and there has been a rumor that this was War Machine's last
Yeah, I
match
did hear about that.
with
And
both Ring of
actually, Dave
Honor.
Meltzer confirmed it. They already signed a contract.
Yeah, so like this is his last match with both Ring of Honor and New Japan.
Yep.
So he also in that match was Suzuki's Gun, which consists of Taichi, Takahashi, Iizuka, and Zack Sabre Jr.
Yep.
and everything. And then you
And
also had Tachi Japan, which is Juice Robinson, also known as CJ Parker. Rizuke
yeah, how
Tajuki.
far have they come?
Who, Juice Robinson?
Like, how far are they? No, CJ Parker.
Oh, Juice Robinson and CJ Parker, like
Yeah,
but I feel like he's actually a lot better here than he is over there. He's doing a lot better over there
I
than
know.
everything.
They actually won
Um,
championships.
yeah. Then the fourth match, which is actually one of my favorite matches, there was nothing on the line for this.
And I did see that.
Uh,
Yeah, and
yeah,
I
so
did see the highlights of that one. Yeah.
was Kota Ibushi versus Cody.
And did I not call it the second Cody Rhodes lost the title? I was like, this is just basically their way of Kota Ibushi can win over Cody now because it's
Yeah,
not for the
I mean,
title. I did say that.
you said that, yeah, and then I mean, I guess that's what it is. But at the same time, this is even the belt was on the line. This match was pretty good, and
It was,
The theme with Kota Ibushi, you gotta remember, the man's neck is rubber.
yeah,
He
I
has
don't know what it is, but
Okay, that man has, as some people probably don't know or didn't know, they did mention this in the Cruiserweight tournament. He has he had surgery on his neck, and the man still does these moves from where you're like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Or he takes these bumps too, like, "Are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure because you had this neck thing?" Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Cody hit him with the crossroads from the apron to the floor.
yep.
That looked so painful. I cringed. It's just like, oh my god. But yeah, but that match was pretty good. I'll probably give that like 4 stars in my opinion. Um, the fifth match, I hate saying their name, but they're one of my favorite stables other than Bullet Club. Los, the Evil and Sonata. Let's just say like that, because they're part of Los in Good the Don Japan. I can never say that second word, but it's evil. The wrestler name is evil. That's what gets me. The wrestler name is legit evil and
yeah,
Sonata, but they beat the Killer Elite Squad, which consists of Lance Archer and David Boy Smith Jr. And they beat them for the IWGP Tag Team Championships, which is different from the junior heavyweights because you have your juniors and you have your regular heavyweight.
yes.
So your sixth match was Hiroki Gato versus Miyo Suzuki, which I
Which,
didn't.
first of all, if I may, I'm gonna be to interrupt. By God, and this is I just want to quickly point this out. This is what makes Wrestle Kingdom different from WrestleMania. It's obvious that Wrestle Kingdom focused more on the matches than its production.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like only what 8 matches on the card
10.
or 9?
No, 10.
It was 10. WrestleMania has like 14 or 15
And their matches,
because they
but
don't
Wrestling
get
Kingdom matches, I'm
are
looking at the.
longer. I know.
I'm looking at the time.
They,
The Royal Rumble was a half an hour. Was a 31 minutes and 6 seconds. The Young Bucks 3K match, 18 minutes and 49 seconds. The Gauntlet match for the 6 man titles, 17 minutes and 3 minutes. 17 minutes and 3 seconds.
uh,
Kota Ibushi versus Cody, 15 minutes and 8 seconds. Evil, Sonata, and the Killer Elite Squad, 14-14. This match that I'm talking about right now, 18 minutes and 4 seconds.
you would never get that amount of time WrestleMania.
No, you won't. And here's something I didn't know. I knew this match was happening, but I didn't know that this was not only was it for the Never Openweight Championship, but it was also hair versus hair.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. But yeah, but after the match, by the way, Gato won. He's now the new champion, Never Openweight Champion. Pretty much Never Openweight Champion. It's kind of their how can I say this? It's kind of their tough man championship. Like not necessarily Iron Man because they don't really have Iron. They do have Iron Man matches, but this was an Iron Man match. But it's pretty much like their tough. This is like my tough thing here because the last couple of
Uh,
champions that held it were considerably. You had the Stone Pitbull, you had Shibata that held it before and stuff like that. So it's like those tough wrestlers.
yeah.
Gato is a tough wrestler. The Suzuki is a fucking nutball. but yeah, apparently Suzuki lost. He had to cut his hair, which is saying something because his hair is already cut. It has those crazy designs, but he cut off the top of his thing that he usually has.
Uh,
So then the next match after that, which was 21-18, 21 minutes 18 seconds, another I would say 4.5 star match in my opinion. Moy Scroll versus Hamaru Takeshi or Tanakishi or Tana. I'm sorry. My I hate saying these things. But versus and Kashuda and Will Ospreay. It was a four-way match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. And I kind of thought that Himura was going to win, but no, it was actually Will Ospreay that won.
interesting.
Which is, yeah, it is interesting because,
His counterpart.
well, not necessarily because you have Chaos, you have Evil, no, you have Chaos, you have the Lost Day Japan, and you have Bullet Club. Because
Yeah.
Shooter is not really with anyone, as far as I know, unless he's with somebody else. I'm not 100% sure, but you have those things. But I actually thought that um this pay per view was going to be more in the favor, except for one, but was going to be Lost Day Japan's pay per view pretty much. They already won the tag belts and stuff like that, but I kind of thought that Hiromu was going to win the junior heavyweight title, but that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have, which I think this match could have been better for certain reasons. But you have the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, which is Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Jay White, or it's known as Switchblade. And Hiroshi Tanahashi won, which is I'm actually surprised about because Tanahashi is fucking injured. He has a bicep tear, and he's been wrestling on for months. He actually had this the tear I think one of the first times when he actually got hurt wrestling. I mean, when he was actually filming the Kamen Rider movie, because for some people who don't know, Tanahashi is a huge Kamen Rider fan.
Uh-huh.
He actually likes Tokusatsu as well and everything. Some of his older matches used to come in. He used to come into the ring wearing somewhat of a Kamen Rider looking thing. Like one of the matches I remember seeing him, he was dressed as W and everything. And most of his poses is from Kabuto, Kamen Rider Kabuto, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I think from what someone has said, he hurt himself during the filming of the Kamen Rider Heisei Generations, the Dr. Pac-Man versus Etsy and Ghosts, because he's in that movie. He plays a hitchman, and I think he said during the stunt he kind of hurt himself. That's what someone said. I'm not 100% sure about that, but he's been hurt for the longest time, and he's still wrestling. He has a bicep tear. I feel like that this match would have been a lot better if he was 100%. And I'm surprised that he didn't drop the belt, because if he would drop the belt, he would have at least gone ahead, got the surgery, and healed. He's 40 years old. He needs some time off, and he needs the surgery. He needs to heal. Because if you don't do something now, if you don't do something now, that's gonna really
Yeah.
get to you when you get older. Okay, especially if you're a wrestler. By the way, I'm sorry, I say he was 4 years old. He's 41, but you get my point.
No, well, yeah. 1 year difference does make a difference.
Yeah. The
If
next
you're old,
match,
you're old.
the next match was part of the double main events.
Yep.
This match lived up.
To the actual hype. I know it's one of
Yes,
the
it,
matches.
it lived up to
One
so
of the
much hype,
rare matches where it's like, okay, it lived up to the hype clearly.
and a lot of
And
people
it
was
shows even at what, 46 years old,
47.
Chris Jericho, 47, Chris
Yeah,
Jericho can still go. Like, holy shit.
yeah, that man is yeah, he's one of the smartest people that ever stepped in the ring. Okay, he knows what to do in a situation. He knows how to bring everything. He knows how to be the heel. Right now, in his role in New Japan, he is the monster heel right now. Like when Chris Jericho, because he always talk, Chris Jericho was like, oh, I used to wrestle in Japan. People like me in Japan. Blah blah blah. This he did not care. Fuck you, New
I
Japan
yeah,
fans.
yeah. I mean, did you see the
I don't
press
give a
conference he had?
yeah, I don't give a shit. Nah, 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 nah. It's like okay, and this is Chris Jericho letting loose. This is the Chris Jericho you don't see on a WWE TV. This is the Chris Jericho that you usually see on TMZ when he's drunk and want to fight people. but this was a fucking clinic of a match. Kenny Omega won.
This is how you make a secondary title important, if I may add.
Yes. Actually, technically, this is more of a third because the Intercontinental
Oh
Championship is the
yeah,
second.
but yeah, but
But
still, like,
either other way, you're right.
this is how you make a
And the
secondary
thing and the
title
thing is, I don't
important.
know if you know, but coming up with the next match, which is the double main event, which is Okada versus Naito. Naito was actually pretty pissed because he felt that this shouldn't be a double main event match. That
Exactly.
being the fact that Kazuchika Okada was the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, and the fact that he was a challenger, this should be the only main events.
Yeah, of course.
And the fact that he should not be sharing a main event with this. Okay, but and there's something that's going to come on down the line that I'm going to mention. A couple things that happened, but going to that, well, Kenny Omega won that match against Chris Jericho. The Okada versus Naito match, Okada won. I was a little disappointed about that. The match was good.
Uh,
I really wanted Naito to win. I felt like this is Naito's chance to win because, like I said before, no one liked Naito when he first started. He was just clean, baby face, and everything. That everyone was just like, They didn't
Fuck you.
care. They didn't. No one cared. And then when he starts showing that, well, you know what? I don't care. Then everybody started caring, and it's just like, but like it was like there's a legit thing on YouTube called the Fall and Rise of Tetsuya Naito, and it's a good small little documentary that someone made and everything. But yeah, I felt like that Naito was robbed, and I felt that Naito. Seriously, I felt like Naito should have won that. He'll get his. I felt like he should have gotten it that night.
Well, now you know how I feel
Now,
about every Dean Ambrose match for the WWE title.
now going to the Nets thing was New Year's
Which
Dash,
is
which is
weird.
pretty
Actually, let me ask you a question. Why does New Japan do
okay.
that?
Why does
Like, what's that?
WWE do
Is
Raw
that not
after SmackDown? I mean, why does
fair
WWE do
point?
Raw and SmackDown after WrestleMania?
Fair.
That's exactly what this New Year's Dash is pretty much the outcome of what happens
It just came so
after Wrestle
quickly,
Kingdom.
though.
Yeah, it seems like that, but that's pretty much
That's
what
why
this
I'm
is.
like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Why is all this stuff happening literally the next day?
Yeah, it's the same as that thing as
I know, but it's
as
like the difference is we're used to that, though.
I mean, I'm used to it. I mean, this ain't the first time they done it. I mean, this is like I said, it's pretty much it's the next day of of what you call 'em. A lot of things
But,
happen. A lot of
yeah.
things happened at the end of New Year's Dash. Number one, there was some tension going on between. Well, actually, you have a couple of matches. I'm not going to really get into the matches because there's a lot of things went off, but some things happened
Uh,
from where. So apparently, there's been some tensions going on between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Omega.
and Kenny Omega.
If you
Yes.
follow the Being the Elite, they've been teasing it and everything. I guess this is them bringing it to light. Um, the main thing that what it is the fact of Cody was trying to beat up Kota Ibushi, and Cody, he really doesn't care. He was trying to do something that was going to completely hurt Kota, but but um but what you comes in, Kenny Omega comes in and saves the day because his whole thing is first off, I didn't want you to have this match with him because you play too much pretty much, and he has a mutual respect with him because those two are best friends. They wrestled each other like back when like I think New Japan, not New Japan, Dragon Gate, I think it was. So like they have a mutual respect with
Mm-hmm.
each other and everything. So he pretty much told him like, yo, you do not attack him at all. Wrestle him, yeah. Do not attack him. But he didn't listen. So they pretty much had a fight and everything. And he says, I'm sick and tired of this infighting between the Bullet Club. I have a solution. He calls out Jay White. And Jay White, Swiss Ray, comes out and he says, I pretty much want to make you a member of Bullet Club.
Mm-hmm.
Jay White accepts. Gave him a t-shirt and everything. And then hit Kenny Omega with the Blade Runner. Turns out that afterwards, Switchblade joined up with Chaos, which is the same stable that Okada's in. Which I didn't know that Okada was in Chaos.
Yes.
But he pretty much just told him, I'm coming for the United States title. So there's that. Then you have that's one of the two things that happened. Another thing that happened, I'm just going to go for the main things. There's a lot. I'm just looking at some stuff.
Yes.
Like Suzuki gun. Suzuki apparently is very bald now, as you expected, and everything. But now you have after it was a match Chaos, which is Ghetto Ghetto Gato, which is two different people. Okada, Will Ospreay, and Yoshihashi versus Low Stage Japan. I'm not saying that middle name, which is Bushi, Evil, Takahashi, Tanada, and Naito. Oh, there was no Daryl. There was no Daryl, which is Haru's little pet cat. So he was a little mad about that and everything. But after the match, because after the match was done, Naito gave a little speech and everything, pretty much saying that he will be back to face um he will be back to face Okada sometime soon in the future. Blah blah blah. Afterwards, he's doing his little pose, his little eye pose, and out of nowhere, Chris Jericho comes out and attacks Naito.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did see that.
And you're like, and people were like, wait,
Why?
why?
I
Well,
know.
I told you why. Those two kind of had back and forth, being to the fact of,
I
hey,
know, but that's not the point. The point is because Jericho's going to be a one-time thing.
yeah, you think that.
Yeah, we all thought that.
I mean, and then it also doesn't help that the press conference he said, I lost, pretty much, and I'm leaving, I'm never coming back.
And now look at that.
Just because you say that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not true, because as you see, he is back. I know, and I know what you're thinking. I know a lot of people probably be thinking it's still like, well, what about the WWE? Maybe the WWE is not in his will right now. Maybe he has other plans.
Don't worry.
It also
Give
doesn't
it like
necessarily mean that he doesn't come back. He can come back if he wants to. It's
give it
just not
like a
right
year.
now.
They're gonna sign. Don't worry. WWE's gonna look at New Japan. They're like, you know what? They're like, we gotta sign this Jericho kid.
also
They're gonna sign.
this match probably is not going to happen anytime soon because Jericho has some tour stuff to do
I
here
know
in
what Fox.
America.
That's my point. That's why I was like, the hell.
Like if they do that match, it's going to be early. It's either going to be early or it's going to be later when New Japan comes to America because New Japan's going to be coming to America soon. But they do have some matches. I mean, they do have some stuff here. I'm actually planning on going to that show with Fonzie. So, but I don't. But I think that it's not. I think it's not going to happen either sooner or later.
I mean, I guess I was building towards. I'm not saying next Wrestle Kingdom. What's the second biggest event for
Well, they not.
New
I
Japan?
don't think they're going to do it. They. It's not really events. They just do like shows
Uh
and stuff like that. So I don't know what the next show is.
let me look it up. New Japan Wrestling. Based on their chronological thing, it seems like uh,
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is on my head.
the New Beginning. It's a pay-per-view called The New Beginning, which will take place in February. So
It depends if he's free.
yeah, because obviously he won't be at WrestleMania because of his tour dates.
Yeah.
So there's that. But yeah, I did overall hear that Wrestle Kingdom was a good show though.
It's pretty much their WrestleMania, and like we all said in the past couple of years with friends, when you look at WrestleMania and you just look how you look at wow, this is this is pretty bad. I'm gonna go
Eh.
watch Wrestling Kingdom again.
Well, I mean, WrestleMania 33 was I would say it was one of the better WrestleManias in a couple years. I enjoy WrestleMania 33.
I mean,
Minus
yeah,
the ending. Minus the like WrestleMania 32 was horseshit. I'm not gonna lie. But the only redeeming match was the women's triple threat match. The rest of the card didn't really matter. But WrestleMania 33, I thought it was a solid show. Shane
yeah.
McMahon and AJ put on the match that nobody expected them to put on, and it worked. So,
Yeah, but then when you compare it to like New Japan, their
well,
stuff.
yeah, I will obviously it's not gonna touch me because again, New Japan. I was trying to point out the difference between WrestleMania and New Japan is WrestleMania obviously is more production oriented than wrestling. They care more about how it visually looked than the actual wrestling itself. Where Wrestle Kingdom is clearly obvious that they care more about the goddamn wrestling than the production of it. So it's like that. Yeah, there's that.
I'm sorry, I'm also watching this. This is kind of a hype match.
No,
I know
no,
if
it's
you
fine.
no. I mean, it's pretty hard when you put your video game life and your wrestling life together.
No, man, no, I think we were about to
But
end it anyway. I think we covered
yeah,
pretty much
and
everything.
then I'm not gonna be watching this. I'm actually gonna head to bed. I gotta get ready for
Yeah, I know,
work.
I know,
I gotta
yeah,
get
I know. I
behind
have to,
this.
yeah, I know. I have to go to sleep too.
I
But
gotta head out
yeah,
this bullshit.
that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching today's episode of This Week in Wrestling. Any final thoughts before we call it a day?
Not really. Just it's 2018. People, you know, let's leave 2017 in the past. Let's start off.
Yep, new year, new me. I guess that's what we say.
Don't say that.
I know,
Just,
I know.
just
But yeah, all right, guys. Well, this is Creator and Ron signing off. Catch you guys later. See ya.